edition of Sipping Tea with Cinnamon, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe to Real Alicia Cinnamon, and as soon as you pop in, make sure you like, drop a comment, drop a flag, let us know where you're checking in from. So we're gonna wait for the audience to build up. I'm gonna reshare the live, and we're gonna get it crack a liking. So just so you guys do know, today we are going to be talking a lot of real Canadian history truth in terms of music and who's really who and who's really doing what um, in the community and how we are pretty much our biggest gatekeepers. Sips tea. If you're here, feel free to drop a comment. Might let some of you guys join the live. At some point, I'm going to get like a phone in line for you guys to call, but bear with me as we build up the audience. How was your holidays? I hope everybody, well, it's still kind of going, right? So, but I hope everybody just kind of, makes it safely into the New Year's. Unfortunately, there was a couple of people that we're going to talk about today who did not and will not see the New Year's, and that's highly unfortunate. But for those of you that are here, tap in. So I'm going to play some music in the meantime while I put up some stuff for you guys. So just give me a moment. Drop it, comments, tap it, let us know where you're from. Welcome back to my channel. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, heart, comment, do all that good stuff. This song playing right now is courtesy of your girl, Alicia Cinnamon. It's called I Can't Breathe. Dedicated to everybody who's lost somebody to gun violence. Right before the New Year, that's what's up. That song right there is called I Can't Breathe, courtesy of your girl, Miss Alicia Cinnamon. I'll play it up one more time. How you doing? This song is dedicated to anybody who's lost somebody to gun violence. And if you like it, you can find it on all streaming platforms by yours truly, Alicia Cinnamon. And it's called I Can't Breathe. So as an artist, I believe it's it's our responsibility to make sure that we keep on putting out positive music. So this is what we call. I hope you guys enjoy. Hi, Luca. Feel free to drop a flag or let me know when you guys are checking in from. If you're here, make sure you subscribe, like, comment. It's gonna build up the audience before I get into some hot topics. Well, hey, I gotta break the rules. I know I gotta break away. Yeah. Is this what our ancestors died for? So that we can become the apostles of ourselves. All this hatred among us has gotta end. Remember, you come from kings and queens. Show your wealth. Young ladies, respect your bodies as well as your mind. Young men, it's not a weakness to be kind. You only live once, so live right. Your time will come. You have to answer to the Most High. Welcome to my channel, y'all. It's your girl, Alicia Cinnamon, aka Toronto's favorite spice. And that song right there is called I Can't Breathe. And it's dedicated to anybody who's lost somebody to gun violence. This weekend, we had lost one of our members of our community. Shout out to World Order, Wayne Thompson. He was gunned down in Jamaica. Um, Apparently, there's a video circulating. I personally haven't seen it yet. It's unfortunate that these things, I mean, fortunate in the sense that there's an investigation, but unfortunate in the sense that, you know, people have time to take out their cell phones and videotape things instead of helping. But just want to wish everybody, you know, a very happy new year and everybody arrive into the new year's safely. And yeah, so today we are going to talk about some hot topics. I'm going to talk about some hot topics. Let me just share the live, y'all. How y'all doing out there? You tapping in from Toronto? Where y'all from? So there's some things that I wanted to talk about in terms of just being a Canadian artist. For those of you guys who don't know me, how you doing, Kevin? For those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Alicia Cinnamon, aka Toronto's favorite spice. And I decided to wrap up my final or this year with just, you know, kind of telling some truths about what's going on in the Canadian music industry and just getting people kind of like, you know, a little bit more familiar with our contributions to the actual industry, because sometimes people think, you know, we just popped in out of nowhere just to kind of culture vulture or whatever the case may be. But there is actual foundational history in the Canadian music industry, and we're going to get into that. Um, the unfortunate side about that is that we are so divided as an industry that it is damn near impossible to really give anybody their flowers, because the minute you're trying to give somebody their credit, they look at you like you're an idiot, or now you are competition and now they have to essentially take you out the game. And I never really quite understood that, kind of crabs in a bucket type of mentality. I feel like we could do so much better as a community, but yet we just kind of drop the ball short every single time. And one of the things that I noticed that people were really like, kind of like trolling, um, mainly like we'll go back into the Drake topic. A lot of people are kind of like trolling, the stuff that Drake is going through right now, and they're, making jokes about it and whatever. And the reason why Drake is able to just get his ass whooped the way that it's happening. Hey Lizzie, how you doing? Long time no see. The reason why he's able to get his ass whooped in the way that it's happening is because of the fact that we have no real infrastructure. We have no real backative in our communities. The blogs are ready to, you know, um, turn against us for clout. Sorry, I'm just resharing the live if you guys see me looking down. Um, a lot of the blogs are ready to just tear down the local artists just for a little bit of excitement. Um, they're not necessarily supportive of artists from England. How you doing, Pyro? They're not necessarily supportive of artists. It is very a cutthroat industry that we are in, and it's unfortunate now we're watching it kind of like happen on a global scale. And hold on, give me 1 second. One second now. Thank you, Pyro. Appreciate it. Sorry, I will get into it. I want to give you guys my underrated attention before really diving into it. So I just want to make sure we should. Mhm. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. So, yeah, just in terms of the Canadian music industry and where we're at, and how we are dealing with our artists. It's easy for people to come and kind of terrorize Drake and take him down in the formation that they're doing it in, because we don't necessarily have unity amongst us in the first place. And I think we need to start calling a spade a spade. We're constantly just kind of discussing um, things that are happening in the American industry and the gatekeepers of the American industry. But we have gatekeepers right here in Toronto, and a lot of them are like not a part of the real culture. And I don't mean that they're not foundational and they can't rap and all that stuff, but you don't see a lot of our Canadian artists actually like giving back to the community. You don't see Toronto artists. I'm gonna speak for Toronto. You don't see a lot of Toronto artists um, doing fundraisers that out of their own pocket, not just fundraisers that they can get their tax off. Thank you. Shout out to the legends. You got Aaliyah, Biggie, Pac, Marvin Gaye, Bob Marley, uh, Jam Master Jay, Left Eye, all the legends. But yeah, like I was saying, we don't actually see any of these Canadian legends and pioneers, so to speak, actually in the trenches. We don't see them coming out and saying, okay, you know what? They're just going to pull up to Bleecker Street and throw a barbecue just for the sake of, or Regent Park or any of these places, and just really, it's like the same way how you can see 50 Cent go back to Bed-Stuy, wherever the heck he's from, Jamaica, Queens. You see a lot of American artists that actually go back into these communities, even though there's a risk. But if you are using that culture, a lot of Canadian artists, I'm gonna just say, the only time you guys friggin' step in the hood is when you want to shoot a music video and you don't even incorporate the people from the actual community. You do it when everybody's sleeping, first thing in the morning when it's sectioned off. You don't actually incorporate Canadian, or sorry, the block that you're trying to perpetrate that you're from, right? And then you have those like myself who are constantly in places. Like, I make sure that I'm seen on a regular basis in the community. As much as I do stuff like, your corporate things and on the outsides and whatever, I also make sure that I am tapped into the actual community. Like, I do, especially around this time, I will go out and make sure I'm handing out. Do I make my own music? Yes, I do. You can stream it on all streaming platforms. I will go out into the trenches. You'll see me at like the after hours supporting the local events and venues. You'll see me handing out care packages to the homeless people. And there's no videotaping it. There's no camera crew that's rolling behind me. Their local places actually can be like, yeah, Alicia Cinnamon comes in there and spends her money inside the community. I will go into bars that people wouldn't think twice of and be like, okay, you've been here for like 20 years. You are actually a part of Canadian history. How can we help you? These are things that we're supposed to be doing as artists, not just putting out songs and popping up every now and then. Like, we're actually supposed to be pillars and representatives and staple figures of the community. And we don't see that, and we don't get that. And then we have people that call themselves quote unquote legends that pop up every Juno season just to get an award and then go right back under the trenches. And then they sit there and act like I don't care what you do music wise. The only reason why the things like that are really important, at least now, is because if you need a work visa or any of that stuff, you need certain accolades. It's not necessarily because your music is the best or this or that. It's a way to build your portfolio. Yes, I write all my music. I help produce a lot of my beats. I am completely independent artist. I've declined record deals. Everybody has their own individual path. So I don't tell people not to take record deals, and I don't tell people not to be independent. It really just depends on the path that you're willing to take. But in doing that, you have to understand there's two different paths. You take the path of getting the record deal, and this is a loan, and you pretty much have to do everything that these people say. Like Tyla, for example. I feel so bad for that little girl because the world is just kicking her ass right now. And it's because of the fact that, again, she's coming from a place like Africa. Even though Africa has 54 different countries, people still look at Africa like it's a country and not a continent. So when you have somebody that comes and is representing, and in people's mind, in the ignorant general public, they're looking at it, she's representing Africa. Nobody really looks at it like if 50 Cent drops a track, he's representing North America. They allow it that he's just representing America. But in the way that they're presenting her, it's like she's representing for the entire continent of Africa. And now we can clearly look at Tyler and see that she doesn't necessarily reflect the general look of the continent of Africa. So a lot of Africans are having issues with, the fact that colorism is still very present in 2024. And unfortunately, even though I see people trying to, go for her and it's like, oh, she's copying Rihanna, she's copying Beyonce, she's not really in charge of her brand. Whoever is packaging her is making her do that. And then when they're done with her, they'll move on to the next. So I actually really feel sorry for her. And I really hope she makes the most of her moment and does what she needs to do with it so that she has enough of a fan base. This is where having a record deal is beneficial if you're smart. You build enough of a fan base that when you go independent, you don't need the labels anymore. That is one of the main times when I can say if you have that kind of pull with you as an artist, go ahead and do it. But coming from Canada, I've never necessarily seen the benefit in doing it that way because we don't have major record deals, record labels. We have things like grants and programs and stuff like that, but we don't have major record labels, at least the ones that are, doing their jobs, I should say. We have definite gatekeepers, but we don't have record labels. And it's unfortunate, like how our structure works is like majority of the people that are running our industry are also other artists. So it's like, why should I kiss your ass if you're another rapper? Why should I kiss your ass as another rapper just to get my music played? It doesn't make sense. Like we need to really like separate who is who and what is what and what positions people are playing because it's we don't know who to go to do certain things because we might send our music into the radio stations thinking we're sending it to a DJ, and it turns out that it's like somebody who really is working on his first album and he's collecting all these songs so that he can duplicate and figure out his style and his sound. Like it's just very disorganized with how we have things going on in our community, and it needs to be fixed. 1 second, I'll be back. So where you guys tapping in from? Let me know if you've ever even been to Toronto. If you're from Toronto, tap in. Let me know. Shout out. Hey, shout out to Ivana. Her boyfriend says he's going to marry you for the New Year's. No, I'm just joking. Shout out, Ivana. Um, what part of England are you guys from? My mom is actually from Manchester. Shout out to the Manchester crew. Okay. Sorry, I just have to get something sorted out. You're welcome. So while I just pre-shut a live here on my phone, I'm gonna play one of my songs in the background, and I hope you guys enjoy this tune. So this song right here is one of my latest songs, and it's called All My Love Deluxe. It's a remix of a dance song that I had. She's taking up proposing next year. Oh, okay. That's what's up. Go Ivana. So we're gonna let you guys boogie with this one. This is called All My Love. Let's go. Mine over there yet? So that song right there is called "I'm My Love." That was my latest release. Now this one coming up is called "Sticking the Blues," and you can actually find this video after this live. Go and watch it. Drop a heart and a comment. Just released it like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Been worrying all day and waiting for you to call. I've been feeling away. I gotta know if it's true at all. You say I'm crazy, but I can't see much straight what I feel inside. You say you love me, but love seems to be behind. These walls, you got me saying the moon. Saying the moon. You got me saying the moon. Saying the moon. Oh, my let it be go on. I'll call you up all the time. You're the reason for this song. Your love has me going out of my mind. You say I'm crazy, but I can't see the straight what I feel inside. No, you say you love me, but love don't seem to live behind. They wrong. Say love you. You got me saying I'm alone. Saying love over you. Is there something I can do to fix you? 'Cause I don't want to lose you. Tell me what's on your mind, boy. 'Cause baby, you know that I love you. It's not so easy to just say you so. You're the one that I need. You're my heart and my soul. So if you walk away, I'll break down and lose control. Singing my world. You got me singing my moon. Singing the moon over you. I've been crying when waiting all day long for you. Yeah, so that track right there is called Singing the Blues. And like I said, you can definitely find it on all streaming platforms. Go back and watch the video, like, comment, all that good stuff. Which song did I want to play? What is your direct question? Wait, no. That's not it. Yes, so who is Alicia Cinnamon? For those of you guys who don't know, I decided to wrap up my year with just really um, being my authentic and true self and letting people know, you know, the real stories of certain artists that you see, but you don't necessarily get to hear their story, or you don't necessarily get to see them reach to certain accolades or certain places. And we're in a day and age where people live and breathe off of negativity, and people who thrive off of like watching greatness fall. And I think the best prime example of that is when I'm watching in real time what's happening to that young NFL draftee, I think you say it, Travis Hunter. And when I watched how people were so happy to just tear this little boy down for things that had nothing to do with football, um, the amount of stories that were just generated out of the blue just because people didn't want to see a young black kid who, and let's just be honest, in our community, in the black community, and I don't care where you are in the world, unless it's like straight up Africa, but even then, I'm just gonna say globally, based off of the places that I've traveled and the experiences that I've had with the different people that I've met. And sorry, 1 second. There we go. Um, there's something in the black community that we don't like seeing people that come from the ghetto or underprivileged places actually rise above it. And it's really intriguing because most of us know someone who lived in there or have came from there in some way, shape, or form, just due to how, society has been for us throughout history. And when we get the opportunity to actually elevate those people that are coming from any song for your choice. Yeah, when I finish speaking. Um, so we don't necessarily get to see people from those demographics elevate because we are really our biggest haters, unfortunately. Um, there comes a point in time when we can put, pressure and say, okay, due to slavery or, um, colonism and all those things. But there comes a point in time when it becomes us oppressing of ourselves. It becomes us that is our own demise. And I say that because I've literally watched nothing but negativity be projected onto this young man from since he has been, thrusted into the spotlight. And uh, 1 second. Hold on. 1 second. Let me change this song before I get myself banned off of YouTube. What song is it that you wanted to hear for that? Here's some. The city, man. Canadian history for y'all. But I know about straight here.
Feel the heat in this melting pot.
Y'all ready for a little bit of spice right about now? I'm from the city where we don't sleep. You know that place where hip hop begins to meet. Rolling up a little word and bleak the street. Hammer body moving to the base of the beat. You heard about the jungle where they had to be high. What they gotta be? How do you need it? What to keep that? Tell me where you from. You tell me where you from. You say versus how you think number one. You say you from Scarborough. For real, never let me even more than people. All kinds of things up to the teach that. Show me what you work with and your blood. Oh, you say you from Jen Finch. A place where the man them J don't snakes. The house that's you from the shit. Come on, keep coming to the don't up your lifestyle. Hey, little styling, tell our prolific. That song is called Slow. But I know what? Yeah, I'm still real smart. Hey, hey, let's go. Hey, hey, hey. That's how I know about real Canadian hip hop. Toronto. So that's a real Canadian history for you right there. Not that boring shit. That real Canadian.
The city, man. The city.
Yeah.
Hey.
It's your girl Alicia Cinnamon, aka Toronto's favorite spice. I got my boy Stallion,
Rapping my city. 416.
and my boy Prolific.
Hey, T.O. I'm a chick Spadina down right to Chinatown, in the city where I finally define my sound. This rap game, I can naturally touch it, and even if we're just crabs in the bucket, T-Dot race me, make me your man, T-Dot shake me. So drop the needle and let it rock then, feel the heat in this melting pot. From East me to Maestro, rhyme flows align my mind to my hot holes. Yeah. I compose to the street, skills get dropped, but only done gets made. That's movement, without using force in the newspaper reach with the new York, the North, and the place to be. That's T-Dot, oh yeah,
Wagwan Rashan. It's your girl Alicia Cinnamon, and you can to our today. Y'all ready? Right about now, Canada has posted with chat. It's one of those girls got ready for today's employment. You ready? Let's go! Go DJ, that's my DJ. Go DJ, next minute I'm low. Drop your lights. DJ, that's my DJ. Go DJ, next minute I'm low. Go DJ. Go DJ. Go DJ, that's my DJ. Go DJ, next minute I'm low. So me have a grand on the body, on the body, on the left. Twist and turn one here, make your body move and stay each other. While I go, yeah, make a breakfast. I ain't no breakthrough. That's the thing to do. It makes me want to. Oh, I get to know you. DJ, oh, Mr. DJ, oh, we are DJ. Turn my music up. Say what? Hey, DJ, you Mr. DJ, oh, we are DJ. Now turn my music up. Go DJ, that's my DJ. Go DJ, mix it on low. Go DJ, that's my DJ. Go mix it on low. Go DJ. Go DJ. Go DJ, that's my DJ. Who remembers Nina's guys? You ready? So I'm gonna say, go. Your body, girl, it makes the fellas stay. The way you want it, girl, it makes the fellas stay. Who's that girl walking up the club? Tell us that's the vibe, you show some love. Canadian girl up in this place, and they wanna get to know me. Top girl in a breakfast woman, I'm gonna be a pretty hey, teacher, what one. Skin trying to feel like a rotation. Hey, DJ, pay attention. Come on, Mr. DJ, hold it on the DJ. Drop your lights. Go DJ, that's my DJ. Go DJ, let's get on low. Say what? Go DJ, that's my DJ. Go DJ, let's get on low. Go DJ. Go DJ, that's my DJ. Go DJ, let's get on low. What's your number about that right there? So that song right there, can find the video for that one. Go DJ, courtesy of the Dirty Money Rhythm, one of the hottest rhythms out right now. Yo girl, Alicia Cinnamon, fresh out of Canada, jumping on it. So I'm gonna give you guys a nice throwback song that I personally just love to sing right about now. Welcome to the live. Make sure you're subscribed, drop a heart, comment, all that good stuff. Stay tuned. Hold on. So here's a song. As soon as I can get out of this app. Where's everybody checking in from? Let me know. Let me know where everybody checking in from. I'm gonna videotape y'all videotaping me just to, you know. Shout out to the chat. I really do appreciate y'all. Make sure I like, comment, subscribe, and more importantly, let me know where you guys are checking in from. Holla, it's your girl Alicia Cinnamon, aka Toronto's favorite spice. I'm watching you while you're watching me, sipping tea with cinnamon. So, in case you guys, haven't realized right now, you're tuned in from Canada. And one of the things that I really just wanted to discuss today is just kind of like the gatekeepers of our Canadian community. And we have, just as much issues, like we got just as much ditties and all those things that we have to worry about over here on a local scale. So before I get into the heavy topics, let me just, seduce you guys a little bit if I can. So I don't care where you're from, I don't care what country, what language you speak. When you hear this song, you know what time it is. So let's just get it going. I don't know what it is that you done to me, but it caused me to act in such a crazy way. I don't like this version. I'm gonna get y'all another. Hold on. Let me turn my mic up. Y'all ready? Where all my R&B lovers at? Let's go. I don't know what it is that you done to me, but it caused me to act in such a crazy way. Whatever it is that you do, when you do what you do, it's a feeling that I wanna get. But my heart starts beating triple times with thoughts of love on my mind. I can't figure out just what too soon. Love and joy is gone. I get home. I can finally sleep. I'm up to something takes over me. In a day, they look so amazing. It's not a place I want you to stay with me by my side. I swallow my right. Your love is so sweet. Say what? Can't explain why your love is making. Time after time, I don't try to fight it. But your love is strong, it keeps on holding on. Resistance is down when you're around right there. In no condition, I don't wanna be alone. No. But my heart starts beating triple time with thoughts of loving you on my mind. I can't figure out just what to do, and because joy is new. I get so weak in the knees, I can hardly sleep. I need something sure, something takes over me. In a day, it looks so amazing. It's not a I want you to stay with me by my side. I follow my right, don't know this is it. Now see right off of my feet. Can't explain why your love is making. Y'all ready? So I'm gonna give you guys one more before I get into the hot topic. This is one of my first favorites. Yeah, my eyes. There's something in it. All right. All right, here we go. Here's my final song. Oh, here we go. Let's see if y'all really know music, okay? Early one morning, I was walking down the street, and I realized, there goes my baby with another boy. Something told me it was over. When I saw you in her, okay, something deep down in my soul said pleasure. When I saw you with that girl walking around, I would rather go blind, Lord, than to see you walk away from me, child. So you see, I love you so much that I just don't want you to leave. Most of all, I just don't want to be believing. I was young, I was young, I was just in here thinking of your peaceful home and where the reflection in the way that I am first no pain. Reveal itself on my face. And baby, 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 I would rather go blind than to see you walk away. And baby, 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 I would rather go blind than to see you walk away. Oh, oh, I'd rather go blind. But sometimes I get somebody. So instead of standing in the hands of somebody else, I would rather go blind than to see you walk away. All right, y'all. OBGs, my favorite show. Welcome, Pyro. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah. So on that topic, we're gonna get into one more song. I just keep saying one more, but really, it's like I wanna talk about something, but I really feel like singing. But we're gonna get into the topic, talking to keep resharing the live and all that good stuff. So I wanted to end off my year just by paying homage to a lot of people who are genuinely inspirational to not just myself, but to the culture. I'm an artist. For those of you guys who don't know, my name is Alicia Cinnamon, aka Toronto's favorite spice. I'm from Canada. And you guys don't get to meet or see a lot of Canadian artists because unfortunately, Canada has a lot of gatekeepers. So one of the blessings of just moving into the social media realm, a lot of people kind of hate on me because I'm really good at maneuvering my way around social media, and I do have a pretty good following for the most part. I think that my followers are highly mature. I think my followers are people who like real music, real topics, and people who just don't want the world to be sugarcoated. So, Sipping Tea with Cinnamon is a segment that I usually do every Monday on your lunchtime break for about an hour, and I just give you the hot topics that are going on in the, especially Canadian music industry, so that you guys can know what's going on. People like myself, you guys should know who we are. There's way more than Drake. There's way more than Justin Bieber. There's way more than Tory Lanez. There's the fact, I think I've named them all, right? But there's so much of us. So welcome and to being introduced to, if this is your first time hearing or seeing, especially a Black Canadian artist, because shout out to Avril Lavigne and Bare Naked Ladies and people like Jim Carrey and stuff like that, and Mike Myers. We have a lot of successful white Canadians, but in terms of Black Canadians coming out, you guys don't really get to see them that much. And so I think that kind of sets the tone. Unless you've been living under a rock, you kind of see everything that's been going on with Drake and how people are saying he's not Black enough because people really don't realize that there is a huge presence in Black culture fundamentally in Canada. And there are a lot of Black artists, there's a lot of us, but it's unfortunate that we are so gate kept that somebody like Drake is a very one-off. It has nothing to do with luck or any of that stuff, and everything to do with just maneuvering very smart and working his way around a system that was designed for him to fail, regardless of how fair-skinned he was. Coming from Canada, you don't really see many Canadians reach that plateau because we have our own versions of Diddy's and Jay-Z's and just people who are just total gatekeepers. So with that, I'm gonna sing a song from an artist that was very inspirational. I'm gonna give you guys some covers so that you guys can kind of get familiar with the type of artist that I am before I really get into the meat and potatoes. And again, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. like what you see. There's more of me, and I can be found on Spotify, iTunes, Apple, all that good stuff. But this is a cover. Get a proper one. Y'all ready? Try to make it go real. I said no, no, no. Yes, I've been back, but when I come back, you no, no, no. I ain't got the time. And if my daddy thinks I'm fine, they try to make me go real, but I won't go. I'd rather be at home with rain. I think I feel the cheating. There is nothing you can say. Oh, love, I can from Mr. Well, yeah. I didn't get a plan. And I know it's all time and I'm that that'll make me go and breathe there, but I said no, no, no. Yes, I'm coming back, but when I come back, you'll know, no, no. I ain't got the time, and if my daddy thinks I'm fine, they try to make me go and breathe there, but I won't go. I don't ever wanna play the game. I just, ooh, I need a friend, yeah. I'm not gonna tell you. And I every time I now, oh, the kiss me, yeah, baby, yeah, oh, really, yeah. They try to make me go free, yeah, but I said no, no, no. Yes, I'm coming back, but when I come back, you'll no, no, no. I told everyone again. I just, ooh, I need a break. Yeah. I'm not gonna tell you. And I've never been on back now. Oh, I love you. It's not just my body. It's just me. She's had a brown eyes, trying to make me go real. Say no, no, no. Yes, I've been back, but when I come back, no, 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 no. I ain't got time. And if my daddy thinks I'm fine, it's gotta make me go real. Oh, go, go, go. All right, so now that I got y'all warmed up, but because my microphone is like tipping, so that one there. Shout out to the late great Amy Winehouse, one of the few white girls who really just paid homage to the culture. She came in, she understood how to get it done, and unfortunately she had a early demise. She will be she's gone but never forgotten because she was so impactful just to the community as a whole. So I'm going to reshare this live one more final time, and then we're going to get into the hot topics of today. Yeah, let's do this. So who are the gatekeepers in the Canadian music industry? That's what everybody wants to know, right? So I'll start off by telling my story of myself as Alicia Cinnamon. I started off doing music early 2000 and I'd say 2012 is when I started doing music. And I came in like very vivacious, very happy, very bubbly. And there was just people that I had kind of like looked up to that, like anybody, you start off in the game and there's people that you come in and you look up to them and you think like, wow, like, I want to be just like these people, or not even just like them, but you know what I mean? Like people that we all grew up watching on TV and now you're in it. Unfortunately, when you get in it, you start to realize that the people that you looked up to are, not exactly who you thought they were. And I found there was a situation that I had that I went through where, second, I'm just gonna upload this.
Shout out to the chat. I really do appreciate it.
Um,
Shout out to the chat. I really do appreciate your comment.
yeah, so I found myself just dealing with like multiple sets of gatekeepers, people that we grew up, people that we grew up watching and thinking that they were good people, and then just slowly but surely finding out that they are not. And so one of my situations where I started off was I was doing some. I'm gonna get vulnerable and transparent. I was doing some showcases in my community. I had great buzz going for me. Album just dropped. Everything was going wonderful. Particular artists, and I'm going to say normally names of people just out of respect. Um, but then I started to realize that you can't tell a story and not say certain things, especially when people are comfortable with just kind of like name dropping your name. So, for this particular person, was a veteran that I had grown up looking up to in the music industry. And they just kind of took set on me overnight all of a sudden. And I was just like, okay, that's sort of kind of cool, but whatever. Um, why do you want to keep moving? Just keep still. Yeah. So they kind of took set on me in the beginning, and I was like, okay, cool. This person is gravitating towards me. But something in my spirit was like, I feel more like as if they're trying to take over my brand, so to speak, than to actually, what's the word I'm looking for? Give a damn about me. It was like they just wanted to know what it is that I was doing. So I had a show that came up, and the show that I was working on, I was basically, I did some rehearsals, and I brought everybody in and I said, yeah, come in, come do some rehearsals with us. Which most, artists don't do that. They just, hey, show up the day up. So I had some rehearsals that were going on. And in the process of these rehearsals, I realized that this person was constantly videotaping everything that I did. Now, initially, I allowed them to videotape it because I'm like, okay, they need it, for practice or whatever the case may be. But then it started to, I realized like one day we came into rehearsal and they were telling me essentially that they had shopped the song that I was working on to a record label and if they could get on the remix. So I was like, absolutely not. Like, you're not even like, you're an artist. So as an artist, you should kind of know like this is, like such a breach of intellectual property. You shouldn't even really be, videotaping rehearsals, but nevertheless, you're doing it. So the fact that you're doing it, we kind of have a problem. So after I told the person no, I realized like I'm in a little bit of a sticky situation because this person now is pissed. When you tell people no, they don't like it. So I had told this person no, we're still doing our rehearsals. Everything is going kind of sticky now. They're no longer dancing the way that they're supposed to dance, and they're not doing the things that they're supposed to do. So I'm like, okay, what are we doing here? So at the end, they were basically like, listen, I need to videotape this segment. And they're getting mad at me. So I kind of just put my foot down and was like, we're not videotaping nothing. There's no reason. You could like, you know what I mean? Like people who want to videotape stuff, there's a purpose and a meaning behind whatever it is that you're doing. So this said individual now has decided, one second, my battery is actually dying. So now this particular person is upset with me and they're mad as hell at me. Like, how dare she not let us record her? So we get into an argument in the in the session, and you know, me trying to be the professional, I'm like, let me just not say anything and just let this person attack me. Normally I come across as I'm the angry black woman, blah blah blah. I'm like, let me just let this person attack me, and then we can talk about it outside of rehearsal. Plus the person's daughter was there too. So I'm like, I'm not really trying to have this war with this entire family, right? So the rehearsal finishes, this person cusses me out, they leave, they apologize to everybody, and this is all because I wouldn't let them videotape my rehearsal anymore, because I realized you literally told me you were pitching my music that was not finished to a record label, and you were pitching it under the guise that you had something to do with it. No. So we get into an argument. No, they call everybody else and apologize to. Let me put back on my headphones so I can hear properly. They call everybody else and they apologize to everybody that was in the rehearsal, but they don't apologize to me. So I'm like, okay, I'm the person that's putting on this show. I'm paying for the rehearsals. I'm doing everything. I'm the one that brought you guys into this rehearsal space. And I'm the person that you screamed at, essentially. You should be apologizing to me. But because this person was a quote unquote vet, I guess they felt like they were doing a favor of being in my presence. Now, here to me is where humility comes into place. If you are on such a high scale, so to speak, you shouldn't need to be on an up and coming artist's show. It should be the other way around, especially like, you know, a small little showcase. So I'm like, I've heard a couple of this artist's songs that she used to sing, but she wasn't really popping in the sense of like you're like a Deborah Cox or somebody that I gotta worship type of thing. Like you were just, you know, you're a great singer, but you never popped off. And I had always thought this person didn't pop off because they had a sickness, they had cancer. So I thought that's what the person's issue was. I started to realize that, and that was a part of the reason when the person snapped on me and was cussing me off, why I never said anything, because I'm like, if I argue back with this girl or this lady, it's gonna be the angry black girl attacked the cancer patient. So I just allowed it. I let her tell about myself, and then her and her daughter, they took off and they left. And I figured, as big people, we can have a conversation when there's not a crowd around. So after that, I started to realize, okay, they're apologizing to everybody except for me. The people that ran the studio were like, well, you know, if she's not going to apologize to you, make sure you don't put her on your show. So I'm waiting. And then, you know, people were saying to me, the fact that she's sick doesn't justify that she has the right to attack you or antagonize you or do any of these things. Hold on. Yeah. So now I'm like, okay, this is true. Like, to me, if I have like terminal illness, the last thing that I'm thinking about is pissing myself off for like absolutely no reason, right? So I was really trying to make sure that this person's like energy was level, and that, you know, like I wasn't the reason why they like, you know, relapsed or whatever. Didn't really know how, you know, cancer worked, but I know a lot of it has to do with your stress, your diet, your eating, etc. So the time comes, the show, we're ready to do the show now, and it's like the day before the show, and I had been asking people, like, what do I do regarding this person, because they didn't contact me yet, and if they feel that they're just going to show up at my show, like, you made a sad mistake. Like, granted, nobody's paying me. I'm paying for everything out of pocket. I don't get like funding, grants, all that stuff. Everything that I'm doing, I can literally just put on this show by myself. I'm extending my audience to other people, and then those that come through, if people come through and they say that they're here for you, you get a piece of, you know, the money at the door. So I'm a very fair person, which a lot of people are not in this industry, right? And I think a lot of people take kindness for just a blood clot idiot when they realize, like, wow, I'm dealing with somebody who's not a monster. I have to take full advantage of that person. So flash forward now, this person, and we will get to, like I said, you know, I'm definitely gonna get to naming names, because I this story has kind of been an issue for a very long time when it comes to me, and I've kind of just allowed people to say and do whatever it is that they want in hopes of, like, people will figure it out. Everybody has common sense and whatever. So I'm like, I don't need to be the person that says anything. People will put two and two together. They'll all figure it out. Everything will be a-okay. And yeah, we can get back to being regular people. Such was not said case. So, sorry, I'm just going to reshare this live again because I know a lot of you guys were tapped in for the music, but now we're going to get into the meat and potatoes. One moment, por favor. All right. Sorry, guys, I'm just resharing the live. Give me 1 second. We're going to get back into the story. So, getting back into it, right? So now, this particular individual person decides that the day of the show that they're still going to show up. And they call me and they're like, hey, what's the information? Because they didn't even know where the venue was, none of that stuff. So they're like, hey, let me know when I can get to da-da-da-da, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, listen, man, I haven't heard from you since you cussed me off at rehearsal. I don't think it's in either one of us best interest for us to, partake in this showcase right now. I think it'll be better when you and I can speak and we can clear this up. And then when I do another showcase, I can put you on that show. So now the person is like, oh my God, I told people to come out, blah, 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 all this other stuff. And I was like, that's not my problem. Because if I was a promoter or somebody that was putting on the event and you disrespected me, you would know right away that you would have to apologize, right? But because I'm another artist and I'm an artist who's a younger artist than you, you feel like you can just disrespect me. Now, I might be a new artist, but I'm a grown ass woman. So you're not going to just come through and tap into my fan base, my audience, after disrespecting me, apologizing to everybody, and thinking that you're just going to show up. Like, I like your music, but I ain't no pushover. So now, hold up. Let me tap into my Facebook audience. Hold up, because I know my Facebook people want to get into this too. So now I'm like, okay. For those of you guys that are just tapping in right about now, before the New Year's is over, I'm just clearing the air on why I have so many issues with the gatekeepers of the Toronto music industry. And it's not because, oh, I'm crying boo-hoo because I want my music played and blah, blah, blah. To be quite honest, I'm very picky about who even has access to my music. Like, I don't feel like I work so hard on my shit. I really sometimes don't feel like people deserve to touch my shit. So if I put it out there, it's like, you're lucky. That's just in my intrusive thoughts getting the best of me. It's like, you're lucky you're getting to tap into that side of me. So let's just clear that up that, oh, Alicia Cinnamon's a hater because they won't play her music and blah, blah, blah. No, it's so much deeper than that. It is so, so much deeper than that. And I've been watching, like, to think, like, maybe these people will grow out of it and change or whatever, but it's never going to change. It's never going to happen. So let's just tap in. Hold on. All right. So now that we're here. All right. So, like I said, it's so much deeper than that. So at this point, me and this person, we're kind of like, arguing or whatever. And I was like, I don't think it's a good idea for you to show up. So they go on social media. Instead of taking it like, if somebody told me that once you tell me you don't want me to do something, especially something that is a part of you, you ain't got to tell me twice. I'm not going nowhere that I'm not comfortable being at. So, or that I don't go nowhere where people don't want me to be at. So I was like, okay, next thing somebody's telling me like, hey, she's on social media and she's crying this river and saying things like I said she didn't have cancer. So I'm like, that is, and mind you, this is all happening as the show is going on. So this is a veteran. This is a veteran that we're supposed to be looking up to. These are the legends that we're supposed to be looking up to, right? And why I just say, fuck all y'all. I don't give a shit about your legendary status. I'm the legend. Fuck y'all. Straight up. That's my stance for 2025. Sorry for those of you guys that, that's why I said earlier when you guys were tapped in and I was singing songs and whatever, it was a totally different type of energy because I was like, yeah, I'm going to give you guys a good sweet side of cinnamon and then you're about to get the spicy. So the reason why now this person is live telling everybody during my showcase that I said she doesn't have cancer. I'm a very intelligent person, highly intelligent, but I am not a doctor. There's no diagnosis that I can give anybody on this face of the planet. And what I realized with that particular person is that they were using their cancer as an excuse to be a fucked up person to push themselves in the industry. So that was their story. And I never shitted on it. I never said anything about it. I just let that person be. This is your story. This is who you are. Okay, cool. Until I started hearing more and more. And now it's people not working with me because number one, I remember I told you guys earlier, I let her cuss me off. There's a reason why now, because this was like what, 2018, 19-ish. There's a reason why now I don't take no gum shit, no bullshit. I don't take nothing from nobody because when I let that one thing slide, I realized that people just started figure skating around me. So I was like, nah, we're not finna do that no more. We gonna nip everything in the bud ASAP. I'd rather you not like me and we get it out the way up front than for you to be sitting here and keying and acting like everything is Chris. So I figured people would have enough sense. How can I say somebody didn't have cancer, right? That makes no sense. We're adults. We all have common sense. So I left it alone at that. Then I started seeing industry people like, moving away from me. And I told the studio, I said, listen, she has been like, because it was a rehearsal place that we went to and a studio. So I said, listen, this lady wanted my song and she went so far to pitch it to a record label. I'm now realizing what label it was. I'm now realizing who it was. The same gatekeepers, the same A&Rs of Universal. Y'all, the same people that are messaging people, telling people my music sucks. But it was you guys that were so mad you couldn't get your paws on my music. So you decided that you wanted to blackball me and tell people not to put out my interviews. And every interview that I had was an issue, right? But I didn't realize what label it was at the time. So that same person now ends up, I called the studio and I said, listen, make sure this person does not come here and try to record my fucking song. I came to you guys because it was a song that I needed to be remade by instrumentation, live instrumentation. So if I'm coming, this is what people think when you go into a studio, these people could do whatever the fuck they want to. No, you can't. If I come into the studio and it's my intellectual my idea, my creative idea that I come to the studio with, and I tell you, this is what I want to do, you do not then have the grounds, the rights, the means to go and turn and pitch that to somebody else. It is not your property. You don't own it. It's different. And this is why dealing with Jamaicans is complex because y'all are used to jumping on rhythms and stuff like that. If I walk into a studio and there's a beat that's already made, yes, you own it. But if I walk into your studio with an idea in my fucking mind, you don't own nothing, period. And if you waive your fee, that's on you. Or if you say you don't have to pay me until we're done sorting out everything and then we can figure out a price or blah, 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 whatever. People will be like, oh, why don't you get contracts, this, that. I always negotiate and state what it is that I'm there for before I do anything. It's whether or not people are ethically and morally going to stick to what you discussed and agreed upon. I don't need a piece of paper for me to be a person of integrity. If I say I'm going to do something, there's nothing in the world except for death that's going to stop me from doing that. If I tell you, hey, we're going to go and we're going to apply for X, Y, and Z and blah, 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 that's what we're going to do. I'm not going to beat around the bush unless something major happens. There's a lot of people who are just legitimately afraid of fucking success, period. So what I ended up now realizing was like, so I said it to them, make sure this person don't buy my shit. Now they're trying to use my intellectual property as a way to blackmail me because, like I said, this person was a quote unquote veteran, right? So they're kind of like, hey, the producer, typical producer settings, if you want your music, you gotta sleep with me, blah blah blah, because now they feel that they have this upper hand. So I'm like, listen here, motherfucker, I don't play that shit. I came to you for my shit. You didn't come to me, right? For those of you guys who are just tapping in, this is not a news story. This is me just filling in the meat and potatoes of everything as to why I have a problem with the Toronto music industry and why I've been so fucking quiet while I've been watching the same gatekeepers just play stupid games. And if I'm looking back and forth, it's because I got multiple cameras on, so I'm not crazy, okay? But anyways, so flash forward now. The studio dude is trying to tell me I gotta fuck him for the beat. I got this veteran out here telling motherfuckers that I said she didn't have cancer. Then the veterans that were actually cool with me start loosening off on me because they're friends with that person. And I'm like, why the fuck y'all don't just ask me what the hell I said? And then I started looking into this person. I'm like, your career didn't get to where it was supposed to go. Not because you had cancer, it's because you're an evil fucking miserable bitch. Like anybody who knew, and I'm sorry because this person has passed away, but even when they passed away is when I found out that this person was telling people on their dying day, their boyfriend was telling people every interview that I was doing, they were hitting up the interviewers and telling them, do not release Alicia Cinnamon's interviews in the name of Faith Walker. Okay? So now I'm saying names. In the name of Faith Walker. Do not release Alicia Cinnamon's music. Don't do anything with Alicia Cinnamon because Faith Walker did not reach where she was supposed to reach as an artist. And she, like I said earlier, she came to every showcase I had, every idea. If I was working with a band, the next week she was working with a band. If I put on a show, the next week she was putting on a show. And every show that she wanted to be a part of it. Like I told you guys earlier, she was videotaping me the whole fucking time. Every event that I put on, she videotaped it. And I had paid photographers that were hired photographers to be there. And she would come in with her camera and videotape all my fucking shit. And then pitch it to Universal, which I'm now realizing is fucking Cardinal official, pitching my shit. And then getting fucking mad that I don't want them to have my stuff. Because it's not yours, right? So then in her dying days, from what I started to, there was finally somebody released one of my interviews. And they said, I'm not even going to say who they are because they finally, I was like, yo, you're a real one. And they told me straight up, we were told by her boyfriend, what's his name? Righteous Brothers, righteous little short ass light skinned nigga. We were told by her boyfriend that in the name of keeping her legacy alive, do not play any Alicia Cinnamon music. Do not promote Alicia Cinnamon. Do not let her in the industry. That is what's going on. And so in 2025, as we go forward, and we got things like Instagram and YouTube and TikTok, I don't need you motherfuckers. Straight up. Y'all were pitching my music. Y'all took my producer. When we went to the Cut Hip Hop Awards, you met my producer. Faith Walker used my producer. And then went and did a song with Maestro with my producer. Right? All you gatekeepers. Then Maestro and his sister Mel Boogie, because I know all of you guys. Mel, I did your first party. Mel went and took my Northern Queens and made them into fucking the sorority, right? Because anybody who knows Hawaii Mighties knows that she came through the Northern Queens. It's not that I'm dwelling on the past. It's that you guys try to kill off a legacy that you didn't contribute to. So I'm supposed to sit here. That's why I cheer when I see Drake suing motherfuckers. Because that's what the fuck is supposed to happen. Y'all went and took shit. Like I said, when I was on my live earlier on YouTube, like I've been talking this shit for a minute. I'm surprised you guys are still here. But like I said, I finally get into the meat and potatoes because it's a lot. Like I didn't come into the industry to expose people. I came into the industry to make music. But I'm not going to sit here on your dying days, your dying wish. And anybody who, when I'm done with this, I will go and post all of my flashbacks because I got receipts for everything. Anybody who used to come to Faith's EP release party, most of the people that were there was off the strength of Alicia Cinnamon. I have been putting on so people that are above me, beneath me, below me, this, that, da, da, da. And I'm not mad that I put people on. I'm like, yo, I have every reason to feel some type of ways that the people that I was putting on were trying to kick me off. If I could put you on, that means that we could rise together. I should be coming to you veterans. You guys sit here. I can't even properly like advertise myself to my audience because there's always some motherfucker in the comments or spying. When I'm posting to my fan base, I'm posting to my fan base. If I want to tell my stories or document where I'm at or what I'm doing, I shouldn't have to tiptoe around it because somebody from the upper echelons is watching my page. So that because you guys know what you're doing behind the scenes and you know you're wrong. I mean, because your whole fixation is we're not going to let Alicia Cinnamon in. Okay, if you're not going to let me in, I'm kicking down the blood clot door then. Straight the fuck up. Because to know that I was trying to put somebody on a show because they just had a fucking cancer relapse, and then you decide to steal my music, pitch it to your brethren, and then when on your dying fucking and when I found out because my dad died from cancer, so I don't play with that shit. When I found out she was like basically passing away, I was like, yo, let me forget whatever drama we had. Let me make amends and apologize. And then I'm hearing on your deathbed, her, whatever, because somebody's gonna share this to her boyfriend. I don't give a fuck. I'm not afraid of you. We're the same size. On her deathbed, or on what you decided, this is what you made her legacy, was that tell everybody not to support Alicia Cinnamon because that's what you want. That would preserve Faith Walker's fucking legacy. Brethren, when I'm on my fucking bed, my deathbed, my last dying days will not be considering anybody else in the fucking Toronto music industry. I can tell you guys that right here, right now. None of you guys matter. None of you would be on my fucking mind. Straight up. I've had multiple people tell me this shit. And some of you interviewers, you ain't got no backbones, bro. Nobody could come to me and tell me not to support somebody in the name of somebody dead. And I don't know what the fuck the real issue was. And that person, and any of you guys that was watching, y'all were seeing me putting this person on, this person using my band, using my producers, using my audience, and I don't say nothing. And then on your deathbed, because you carry a little bit of weight, and her and what is his name, Cardinal, that's your homegirl. So you guys are going to decide that your whole fucking, as long as you're alive, you're going to make Alicia Cinnamon's career a living hell. Every fucking time I work on a project, you guys are behind the scenes stalking me, right? So let's bring it to the surface. Straight up. Because you guys, like I said, at the end of the day, most of the people that are representing you fucking legends, you're not fucking legends. What have you done other than for yourself? What have you guys done? When the last time you seen Maestro do a fucking barbecue in the ghetto? When the last time? I remember when I was doing If I Rule TO, what is it? A showcase for kids that lived in metro housing, and Cardinal cussed off the fucking kids because they didn't know who he was. Who does that? Oh, if it was Little Bow Wow, because this is when Little Bow Wow was popping. Or if it was Little Bow Wow, this goes to show how young these kids were. You don't know who Bow Wow is, but you don't know who I am. Mind you, this nigga stayed backstage, didn't intermingle with any of us upcoming artists, but you're mad that a bunch of 11-year-olds didn't know who the fuck you were. For what? You don't do anything locally inside the community. The only time you motherfuckers during COVID, when I interviewed Choclair, when I interviewed people that are acting like y'all did this shit on your own, when you guys were sitting in COVID, not knowing where your career was going to go or what you were going to do. And I said, yo, I got it because I know how to work social media. I got you guys. Let me bring us back. Let me bring the game back up. And the same set of Dutch John Crows from the 90s and the early 2000s, the same set of Circle, y'all the same ones that are still gatekeeping and keeping everybody out. Then you got the nerve to sit there and then like Drake literally just made a post saying, I used to look up to niggas until I got a growth spurt. About 2 weeks before that, I said, I don't look up to none of you blood clot people anymore. Why the fuck is it that the intermediate generation is not looking up to you guys? Then you have the nerve to drop a song and place him in there like as if you weren't a part of the gatekeeping when it came to Drake. Like you're not a part of the fucking problem. Straight up. Cardinal Official, you are A&R for Universal Canada, and nobody knows that fucking shit until I tell people that shit. Because the only people you're putting on are your fucking brethren. And then you sit here and you steal from black females, and then you turn around and give it to all these half-breeds. Like, for lack of a better terminology. Straight up. And you're black. I expect that shit from the white folks. I get it. From white people who don't understand the culture. But our own people in Canada do not even reflect black fucking music. You guys hate black women to the core. Like y'all will sit there whenever you're ready to try to make it seem like, oh, we support black women. Then you'll throw Julie Black in the mix. You think we didn't hear the stories about what you guys are like? I don't like to tell other people's stories, but don't sit here and act like y'all were playing games with that lady as well too. Every now and then you guys want to give people a bone, and some people are just so grateful for that motherfucking bone that they forget that you were the same reason why they were being held back. I don't want to be around none of you motherfuckers. Straight up, when we were doing Canadian Music Week, and that's when I really realized what kind of person Cardinal was, because I'm a panelist and he's a panelist. And at the end, I just wanted to take pictures out of respect. Just because you keep crying about nobody respecting you. And when I walked at this nigga and I said, yo, I'm going to take a picture, And he tried to make it seem like I was a groupie. Like his manager was like, oh no, in line. Oh, we don't have time for any more pictures. I'm like, yo, it's Canadian Music Week, and we are all Canadian artists. We are all panelists. I didn't come here and pay to be inside of here. I was hired to be here just like you upon here. So no matter how much you want to small up what it is that I've done, there are people in positions of power that realize Alicia Cinnamon is connected to the community. I don't just pop out during the fucking Junos. Straight up. Half of the new artists that you guys know about are because you're watching my lives right now, straight up. Then you'll go, oh, she said Becky, she said Keisha, she said this. And there's a reason why I do it. I'm not a hater. So of course I'm gonna sit here and say there's segments that I talk about, right? The segments are so that you can look into this person and look into that person, but not so that you can play them up against each other. There's not enough space in it for that. And I don't give a fuck who want to get mad, who want to share this live, which one of you little blogs want to go clout chase and be like, yeah, I'm going to go share it so that way I can get an interview. I don't give a fuck. I don't rate anything going on in the Canadian music industry outside of myself because I'm the realest motherfucking person in this whole goddamn shit. Everybody, except for even Drake, Drake is doing these little subliminals because he's on a level where if Drake were to just say, yo, if you guys knew what I had to go through to get to where the fuck I was, you would realize that I didn't get no fucking handouts. Like, there were look at it right now. Drake has the most of his support is outside of the fucking country. It's nothing but people that want to see people fall off in Toronto because they wish they were in that person's spot. None of these legends are happy for fucking Drake. They wish they were in Drake's level. They feel they're supposed to be there. Don't sit there and put him in your damn music video because of the caption that he put where he said he had his growth spurt and he don't look up to you motherfuckers anymore. Now you want to sit there and lie to the general public and act like you're cool with people. And the reason why it pisses me off is because those same people that you guys are highlighting, I've been saying it after my interview, y'all have been messaging people. Y'all have been stealing my music. Y'all have been duplicating. Like I said, remember I said it earlier, Melanie Fiona coming out of the dead. Every time I look at somebody who has ripped me off and I go into the mutual followers or I go and look and see who are they affiliated with, it is always fucking Cardinal Official every fucking time. And again, it's not like we don't know each other. It's not like we haven't been in multiple spaces. I'm not saying we know each other as brethren, but you're a hater, dog. Straight the fuck up. You are not a legend. Legends don't sit here and want to be the only person whose name is said in the fucking music industry, or you feel like you designate. Like if you're supposed to be universal of A&R, whatever, you're supposed to be in these streets, my nigga. Yeah, like why are you still saying the same names of the 30, 40 people that we've been knowing for the past 29 years now? And every other person I know, I can name like 10 different artists off the top of my dome. And y'all keep talking about Cardinal, Shaw Claire, Maestro, Melanie Fiona, Julie Black. We already know about you guys. We get it. We fucking get it. And then you know what? why you guys never shout out J-Wise and Colors Brown, the Sevens? Why don't you MC New Breed, Melanie Durant? Why you guys don't shout out the real instead of your quote unquote circle? Your circle is not Canadian history. Those are your brethren. You guys are like a gang, straight up. And I don't give a fuck. You can't black ball me any more than it is. Going back to the Faith Walker story. So yes, when y'all told these every time I'm minding my business, promoting my music and going on an interview, and then the interview is not coming out, and when I'm trying to find a wagwan with the interview, or by the time the interview came out, the information is old and dry and powdery. And I'm like, what the fuck? Then finally somebody had the balls to tell me, yo, we were told not to put your shit out in the name of preserving Faith Walker's memory. Fuck that shit then. Rest in peace to the dead, but fuck that shit, bro. That's some evil ass shit. And I'm not gonna, this is like 5-6 years of me keeping my mouth shut and watching y'all. Every Juno season, you guys do the same stupid idiot bullshit. Because in order to get your work visa, you need like a Juno or something. It's not about getting Junos for your recognition and accolades and blah, 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 and all that, whatever. You need it in order to take certain steps to do certain things to elevate your career. So when these people are blocking people from getting those things, it's not about us thinking our music isn't good enough. It's the fact that you're not allowing us to get to the next level because you're blocking us from doing it. Because you guys can't cut it in America. Some of us can. You guys aren't popular. A lot of people don't want to go places if it's not like Cheers and everybody's not worshiping you and doesn't know your fucking name. So a lot of you guys don't necessarily want to step outside your comfort zone or whatever. You're okay with being locally famous because that's the only time you're actually going to get any fucking recognition. Period. My phone is dying. Hold on. And I'm not saying like I don't care anymore. I don't care. Like I watch all these like, oh, congratulations to me. Congratulate, like, well, congratulate somebody else. Like I bet you, punch me in my fucking face if I've been doing music for 25 years and I'm still out here clout chasing and begging for recognitions and awards and all that shit. Nah, I don't need you. Once I get my one little piece, so that I can cross the border, that's all I need. I've never understand that desire to have 85 Grammys and this and that or whatever. You already know you did what you need to do. Now go sell some records. That's the only thing that freaking matters. People get so caught up in all the accolades and the competing with other artists and the bullshit that they don't really understand. Like none of those things matter. You just need them to get you to the next level and then you keep it moving. Otherwise, you're going to be in the same dynamics over and over and over again, fighting the same set of people because that's where they shine. Like the minute these people realize, oh, she's submitting for a Juno, they go into demon time every fucking time. I said it in my interview, and I'll say it again. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to set up. Hold on, trying to put this phone on the charger. Here we go. There we go. I say it every time, and it's like I don't care. Like, who are you to feel like you're in charge of whether or not people want to hear good music? Like, play it and let the general public decide if it's something that they're interested in or if they're not interested in. It's very simple things. Like, but the gag is you guys will constantly, how you doing? The gag is you guys will constantly rip my shit off and then turn around and say you're not playing my music because it's not good. So if it's not good, why you copying me? Who the fuck copies bullshit? Make it make sense. You're not playing it because you don't want me to get the credit, because I actually invest in creativity. I don't just scroll through the gram or have somebody screenshot some shit and share it back and now we're da-da-da and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Why are the only people that win fucking Junos associated with Cardinal Official? That's not gatekeeping. Like, everybody's caught up on what the fuck is going on with the Grammys. How the fuck can you nominate your own damn artist every single year? Make it make sense. How does that work? And then you want us, we all know this. All of us intermediate, this level, I say, was it people from like 28 to, I don't know, 36, 37, 38, 39. Anybody beneath 40s, but like not quite this Gen Alpha, 20, I say 25 and up. We all know this shit. Y'all ain't working with us. And when you are, you're only doing it to benefit yourself. I've been on two albums with Shockware, and not us singing together, but on 2 albums featuring him and featuring me. You asked me to be in your music video. I ain't never asked you niggas to do shit. Every time you guys sing, it's like, oh, we're gonna do it, we're gonna, oh, Alicia's here, oh, she's doing it, like you, and it's so obvious. You guys don't even try to tweak it. So I'm just making it and putting it on the record. Ain't nobody trying to fit in with y'all. I don't give a fuck about that. So this like high school type of like, nah, you can't hang with it. Like that's the energy that you guys came in with 25 years ago, and you're old and gray right now. Pack it up. Nobody cares about this fitting in and this and that. We all got bills to pay, children to take care of, money to make. That's what the fuck we care about. So this in the name of Faith Walker bullshit, bro, cut it the fuck out. Because most of you guys don't even know the story that I was trying to help that lady. I never cussed her. That's why now I stay ready and stay cussing. I'll never give you guys an opportunity to disrespect me ever a blood clot again. I'd rather you say we don't like that girl because she did something to us than for me to know I was out here helping people that should have been helping me. That's why people don't give back in Toronto. That's why none of us give a fuck about doing shit. People are like, oh, she's always hating on the city. It's not the city itself. It's once you get out, it's like getting out of a toxic relationship. Who the frick wants to go back? Every time I leave and then I come back, it's like, why am I fucking here? And it's only because I'm trying to do things the right way. I'm not going to the US and getting myself fucked over, not dotting my I's and crossing my T's. So I will come back within the required time that I need to be back and do what it is that I do. But when I said, okay, enough is enough, I really want to permanently get out here. I'm starting to look at the, not starting, I've been looking at the steps to take. And I realized that these motherfuckers are not just stopping music on radio. They're stopping us from leaving the country and making music or making money. Because like I said, you need to get certain accolades in order to be able to do those things. So it's crazy how only your brethren are getting the grants, and I'm trying to figure out how the fuck is it that Factor, somebody hacked into Factor Canada and took like what, over $200 million? How they do that? Who has access to Factor like that? Because I know I ain't getting none of that money. Ain't none of us artists got none of that money. So how y'all doing all these fancy music videos and shit like that, flying around in drones and whatnot? Like, explain that to me. And yet money is missing from Factor. It's the same people for the past 25 years that have been eating up all the grants. That's why I don't give a fuck if I send out my GoFundMe, my PayPal link. Yeah, because we can't get the grants because it's the same set of jonkros that are getting the grants over and over again. And there's only so much money. I don't care what nobody say. Ain't nobody in Toronto. Ain't no female in Toronto making money like that off of music. These bitches is selling their crotches. And nothing is wrong with that. Nothing is wrong with that. But let's stop acting like being a rapper and a prostitute are synonymous. They're not. Straight up. Everybody's taking these girls out the fucking strip club, throwing them in a booth, making them have one or two songs. Now they're popular because they got a BBL, and all of a sudden that's the top rapper in Toronto or the top singer in Toronto. Fuck out of here with that shit, guy. It's getting disrespectful to real artists, people that actually like went to school for this shit. And then these are the airheads that you have ripping off people like myself, and you think I'm just gonna let that shit slide? Like, what? Where? Like, y'all been doing this from when they told me. When I got nominated for R&B Single of the Year at the Cut Hip Hop Awards, and Chris Jackson from Big Ticket told me that if I didn't step down from being fucking nominated, that they were going to blackball me for the rest of my career. The Cut Hip Hop Awards is 2017. Y'all still doing it? All right. 2017, I was a little youth coming into the game. I'm a grown-ass fucking woman right now. You can't bully me, bro. I've become the bully. Fuck that shit. You're going to have to beat me up in a real life. And then people will be like, okay, now we understand why this girl. It's not, how come? I don't care if you want to play my music. Just stop telling other people not to play it. Leave the radio stations the fuck alone. Flow 90G, whatever the fuck it is. Home of the black music that doesn't play black artists. Name one black female that's actually being played on Flow. And Keisha Shante, who's White Mother, Melanie Fiona, who's Dougla, who else is there? Fifi Dobson, biracial, Avril Lavigne, white. Who else do they play in regular rotation? Nobody. No real black females are getting played on regular. Maybe Julie, the token black female that they always throw out there. And I don't even hear her music, but the token. Every now and then, even Deborah Cox, Big Blood Cut Deborah Cox said, do not play her. Now you'll play her. Ever since I did my interview, you'll see them try and turn on G 98.7 Flow 98. It doesn't even sound right. A bunch of Indians, no disrespect to Indian people, but a bunch of Trinidadian Indian people done bought over the station and have the nerve to call it home of the black music, pandering to the black community and stealing our fucking resources and our culture. And then wondering why I'm pissed the fuck off. Change your logo, bro. It is not home of the black music. It is home of the appropriated music. Change your logo. Black music is not coming on from fucking G98. Even Drake is biracial. There's a reason why Americans hate us. Because we don't actually reflect real blackness in Canada. Every fucking staple person that comes out is a fucking ambiguous Cooley, Dougla, biracial, this, that, da, 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 da. And I'm of Caribbean descent. You see the waves in my hair? If I really wanted to, I'd be like, I'm Afro-Latina, and speak Spanish and play all that shit up. But I'm like, no, I want people to realize we do have real motherfucking niggas that came out of Toronto, and they're not Cardinal Official or Shaw Claire. Straight the fuck up. Shout out Jay Wise. Shout out fucking Colors Brown. Real niggas. Shout out Point Blank. Shout out my brother, Pharaoh, Pete. Shout out the real fucking rappers. Shout out I Am Mike. Like, real people that was spitting. Shout out Young Boy Problems. If we're talking about the next generation of kids with real talent that aren't just out here popping mollies and murdering themselves. Like, But y'all don't really want to. The next generation of Canadian artists are all coming from some suburb in Brampton or Pickering. And then those people feel like they're better than the people whose culture they're appropriating. It don't have nothing to do with being black, white, whatever. You could be a culture appropriator and still be black. If you ain't never spent a day in the motherfucking ghetto, you don't really know what hip hop means. You don't. If you've never, especially if you're over the age of like 35 and shit like that, and you've always lived in a nice, decent house with your parents, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely, positively nothing wrong with that. But if that is how you lived your life, hold on, it's just dying. If that is how you lived your life, stop acting like you came from the slums. And that is why there's certain people like Drake, so I'll give them a level of respect, because like I said, I've seen him go back to certain places and be associated with certain blocks that certain major Canadian artists, you'd never see them there. Am I saying that you like, obviously you got to protect yourself. Hold on. Just trying to plug it in. Obviously you got to protect yourself and make sure, you know, you're not just putting yourself in harm's way for absolutely positively no reason. That's just common sense. But at the end of the day, hip hop, has been about the struggle of the people in the inner city communities. If you are not in the inner city communities, or you haven't gone there in a minute or whatever, or you don't do nothing, or you feel like you're more than the people that are from those places, why are you using our music to tell your story? Go and do some pop music. And that is why Drake has been saying for the longest while he's a pop artist. I think it's ironic that Kendrick Lamar got Billboard Pop Artist of the Year for 2024, because that's really what he wanted to be. Like, anybody who really, really is from the ghetto doesn't necessarily want to be there for the rest of their life. You want to elevate. It's the people who fantasize and idolize what the ghetto is. The ones that can pop in for an hour or two and then go back to their mommy and daddy's houses in Pickering and then talk about the same set of people who they're getting their swag and their culture from. It is not synonymous to being American. That shit happens in Canada as well, too. And every time I'm in Atlanta, I'm constantly fighting tooth and nail to explain to people, y'all think we don't have real niggas in Canada because the phony ones are being pushed out. The ones that want to walk around with guns and shit and have never had a real op in real life. And any op they had, they created on social media. But those are the real niggas of our community. The ones that grew up in Brampton before the people from Jane and Finch got swept over there. Y'all, like, there's Canadian hip hop, and then there's people who rap, okay? And like I said, like, every time I watch these same gatekeepers, they're always like, oh, Toronto, Toronto. Because I put out, shout out to Stallion, shout out to my boy Prolific, because I put my homage, or our homage, to Spadina Bus, who put that song out, right? And I tagged bands like Rochester, and all you motherfuckers, I tagged you guys to enjoy the song. Next thing I know, all of them are doing, oh, we're going to put out our own Toronto anthem. Then they see me in the sweaters, the 416 sweaters with the Toronto Raptors. And the producer that I was working with at the time, I showed him, say, yo, I'm going to do this, man, because the guy that's, Touch of Gold, he's in a wheelchair. He's doing very positive things for the community. He just came out with a new sweater line, and I want to support him. I never went into details. These motherfuckers seen me take pictures and thought I was pitching the sweater to the Raptors, so they tried to beat me to the punch. The same way how, and I'll post because I got evidence, when I dragged Shockler out of COVID because he wasn't doing shit, and remember when I was selling my I Can't Breathe masks and my I Can't Breathe t-shirts, and I gave him my shirt, and this nigga did a whole photo shoot like it was his, and I was like, okay, cool. Then about 3 days later, all of a sudden, he's coming out with his own brand and like same color concept and whatever, and it's like, bro, just say thank you, my nigga. Like, what the hell? Why don't you guys say inspired by? Like, you guys try to come like you came up with all this shit. The same time you guys you asked me to be in your music video, then you want to blur me out afterwards because the white people telling you to do it. Like, don't waste my motherfucking time. Y'all like being around me because I'm actually connected to the fucking streets. Your little shitty ass fucking ragdoll looking publicist, Sasha Schultz. I hate that bitch. Every fucking time one of her little shitty ass motherfucking clientels need to figure out how to be black, they stalk Alicia Cinnamon because she's some white fucking Jewish lady who looks like a wet fucking rat, knows nothing about the goddamn culture, and every single one of her fucking clientels is always some kid from Brampton who doesn't know anything about being black or cool. So it's like, yes, every time she used to always do this. I would have like a release party. Then she would scramble from one of her artists to have a release party maybe 3 days after mine. But she would invite me. And I'm like, why you don't fucking come to mine first? And then I'll come to yours. Like, people in Toronto, I don't understand this mentality. People will do bad-minded shit and then they want you to see it. Like, haha, are you watching? Like, be bad-minded and go do you. I'm not going to steal from you and then dangle it in your face. Like, I'm going to just steal and go about my business. You guys don't even know how to be real criminals. You're just antagonists. And the thing that bothers me is because they have the money. They're Jewish, right? So you got a lot of local Canadian rappers, this, that, whatever you want to call them. They're like, yo, as long as you sacrifice Alicia Cinnamon or find out, they're compliant to it. Do you know when all this Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion shit was going down and they came to me and they asked me to do a diss track about Megan Thee Stallion and they gave me all kind of info about the girl and my integrity said no. I don't give a fuck what levels you're going to put me on. Just like when they said pull off of the Cut Hip Hop Awards because they were having internal beef. And if you pull off, you'll get risen a certain way. That's why there's a certain female, like Sarah Blood Clot name, little half-breed girl that wishes she could be Alicia Cinnamon because she pulled out. Because she's fucking certain people. Like, don't get it twisted. The only reason why I don't be talking about if I dibble dabble in the industry is because I'm trying to protect some of y'all's integrity and some of y'all. But don't get it twisted, bro. Like I put out the Groupie Love track. It ain't nothing for me to name drop whose face and wrote off already. I don't feel no ways to be like, yes, we fucked. Y'all feel like, oh, if we fuck somebody in the industry, we have something. No, it's consensual, nigga. The only time it's a problem is when you're forcing yourself on me. I don't fuck people to get to the next level. If I like you and you like me, we have sex. But nobody can ever say, oh, after I fucked her, she was begging for a beat or none of that, bro. If anything, once we get physical, I don't actually really want to do work with you, but we can work together. Like I'll cheer on the side or some shit. So these little hoe-ass bitches that are out here fucking and sucking, because like I said, I just did the interview on the Man Dem show. Then I started to realize it was them niggas that I literally, who the fuck does this? I literally have an email from these guys, and the caption is, your music sucks. And then in the fucking subject line or the body or whatever, it was these niggas saying, you need to get on the winning team. Just let us eat your pussy, and then we'll make some music for you and blood. Like, weirdo shit. And then I realized, because obviously they're doing this behind fake accounts. So when I realized who it is, people are like, why are you still talking about it? I'm going to keep on talking about it because y'all, for 360 days, 365 days from 2024, y'all stop me. I am going to expose you for 365 days for January 2025 until you guys make up for what the fuck you did. By the time I'm 40, I'm going to be a millionaire, and it's going to be at the expenses of y'all. Lawsuits, lawsuits, lawsuits. Or you're going to start playing my fucking music, or I'm just going to start talking, and everything is going to be out there. You're not going to keep this blackball shit up because you can't get pum pum. And then the one that, if you did get pum pum, now you can't get it again, so you're vexed. Too fucking bad, bro. Make some money and move on in life. Simple and plain. Like, I'm sick and tired of this stupid ass fucking mentality of like, if females don't do what we want them to do, we're gonna stop. You don't have that kind of power over me. Like my competition, I don't look at females as who I gotta worry about. It's niggas. Straight up, it's niggas. And it started off that what really pissed me off is when y'all use my family against me. That's when I lost respect for everybody in the Toronto music industry, because a lot of people don't know I'm very particular and private about my son. And my son was going through a police brutality situation in which they knelt on his neck and they said they should have killed him like George Floyd. And so I reached out for a very prominent black lawyer in the black community who was all over the place because I knew him from growing up. He used to be somebody who was supposed to be cool with my brother. So I said, this is perfect for him. We could work together, because at that point in time, I was doing all my Black Lives Matters, this, that, da-da-da-da. These motherfuckers went after they took whatever information, because obviously if you get a lawyer, they got to look into your background, this, that, da-da-da-da. So I'm, being a mom, this is why I don't talk or post my kid anymore, because you guys are weirdos, bro, and you better never let me catch your kids on the street. I'm tripping all of them face first. But anyways, so then they took my kid and tried to turn him against me because they needed to use a story to tell the judge that, oh, he just comes from an underprivileged place and his mom is this and his mom's that and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yo, My kid knows. Listen to how I talk to y'all big people. You don't think I be giving my kid the same motherfucking life lessons? I'm not one of those parents that be, he must not good. Why? No, if you're doing John Crow shit, you're doing John Crow shit. And my son knew he couldn't do John Crow shit living in my fucking house. So when you go out and you start doing fuck shit, because what they don't tell you is when these kids can leave when they're 16 years old, but God forbid they commit a crime on the streets, and now it's, oh, where are your parents? But when they're 16, they don't have to tell you. When you're calling missing persons, this and that, they don't got to tell you nothing. So when I'm reaching out for the people in the Black community and I'm saying, okay, yo, I'm a female. There's going to be a point in time when your son is going to start to clash with you. I don't know what it's like to have a penis. I don't know what it's like, the pressures of being a young Black male. So when I reach out for niggas, that your whole brand is about uplifting young Black men. So I say, yo, this is a safe space. Come true. I don't want it to be somebody who's a family or a friend. I need it to be outsiders so that it's a fresh voice. Because when it comes to my son, there's mountains. There's nothing that I wouldn't do for that kid. And they went and presented me like I'm the reason why he's the problem and this and that and blah, 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 and all this other bullshit. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to roll with the punches. As long as my son gets off, whatever you need to paint about me, if that's what's going to work it. So then it's like he started to believe that this is really his real life and not that we're just strategic, like, whatever. So then it's like, he start talking back to me, giving attitude, whatever. The lawyer saying he don't got to listen to his mom. He could do whatever he want. Then I'm watching fucking podcasts and y'all turn my life into a podcast. I'm tuning in to the people that are supposed to be helping me. And they're using my story for view. I've never even told anybody what my son went through because it's his story to tell. And these are the same legendary vets that we're supposed to be looking up to that are now clout chasing because, yes, yo, we got something on her. So we're going to use her story so we could get views. Then we're going to shoot a music video in her building. We're going to shoot a music video in her building so we can let everybody know where the fuck she lives in case she decides to speak up. Because niggas only have strength for yell them, right? When a female went and told Maestro my story, I didn't even know it was Maestro that she was telling my story to. She went and she told Maestro and said, yo, this is what happened to Alicia Cinnamon, da-da-da-da. Because I said, yo, I need a space where I can tell my story. Didn't realize she went to like one of the veterans. I would have never went to my show to tell my motherfucking story. That's like going to Jay-Z, right? So he said if she's not willing to go all the way, she shouldn't tell her story. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm already in the process of doing what it is that I need to do. This nigga's going to jail, whatever, we're good. I don't have no problem telling my story. You guys know that shit. They started using my story to shut me up so that they could get credit to tell my story before I did. These are the pioneers of hip hop. So I'm sitting here and I'm watching them doing their podcast and they're getting views and shit. They won't say my name because then you got to give me credit. So I'm watching them get views and shit. And I'm watching this music video, I Wish, that was shot in my building. They took my concept because I wanted I came to them and said, yo, this is how I want to shoot my video. So they took the video, shot it in my building, which is why I don't live in Scarborough anymore. Because now you guys are trying to bring up, like, hot me up. But yeah, when you guys did that shit in the 90s, point blank, them had to slap you guys up for that shit. Because why the fuck, as an artist, are you going to go to somebody's house and expose where the fuck they live? Why you don't go shoot a music video in front of your fucking neighbor? All the other rappers that were there shot it on their block. The only motherfuckers that came to my building was Maestro. And the only person that knew where I was staying was my producer and fucking Shaw Claire. The legends, right? You guys, oh, let me put you in a music video. Tell me your address so I can Uber you. And then all of a sudden you guys are shooting music videos like weirdos, right? But again, because my son was going through shit in the court system, I'm like, I don't want to do nothing to fuck up his case. So I'm gonna let you guys beat me up until he's clear. Because I hired a black lawyer who then was using my fucking story to fit in, because the lawyer that I hired was the first person that ever recorded me. And the reason why I was comfortable is because he went from rapper to being a lawyer. And he was supposedly one of my brother's friends. So I felt like I was safe. But when I looked at, remember when that young girl got thrown off the balcony and during the pandemic, but it turned out that she actually jumped because police don't know how to deal with people with mental illness or even in just sensitive situations. And I was at that protest and I watched all these niggas, the same niggas that turned into their podcast. That's why I say, yo, I'm gonna start doing my own podcast. You guys want to have podcasts? Okay, cool. We'll podcast the fuck out of each other then. So then I see these same niggas, they're all jealous and shit, because at that point in time, Alicia Cinnamon's name is everywhere. And I'm doing it myself. So I'm like, all right, cool. Say less. I had a program where every dollar, and like I was all the shirts, the I Can't Breathe shirts that I was selling, all the money that I made from those shirts, I was using to go to the East Detention and put money in different youths' canteens. I didn't ask nobody for nothing. I didn't have to do that fucking shit. I'm not rich. I could have took that same money and put it into myself. So then these people decide that we're gonna bunks off, because I even was giving it to the same lawyer and said, yo, here's half. If you got somebody who's inside of there that's incarcerated and can't cover their lawyer money, I got a little stash. I got it. I was interviewing. You guys can't say I'm lying because all the interviews are, well, that's why you guys shut down my main page, because all of the interviews are there. When I did a whole marathon where I interviewed like 50 black men so you could tell your stories. Nobody was doing that shit. To this day, nobody's doing that shit. Y'all the same ones. Y'all didn't even know I had a kid. And then you came and tried to destroy my fucking youth with your bullshit. And I had to sit back and be like, yo, my son is so young and all he's seeing is a bunch of black men tell him that his mom is the problem. And if enough people say it, you're going to believe it. And when you're young and susceptible, you're going to think it. Nobody wants to hear their parent is right. And then I started to realize this particular lawyer he had a track record of doing this to black women. He had a track record because there was another girl that I grew up in, shout out Bleecker Street, another girl who he did this same fucking shit to. He just keeps taking children away from their mothers, on some, especially black ones, on some sick ass fixation, but then acting like a martyr in the black community. So, and I'm not saying nothing here that I didn't say to him. He and I have already had our words. I'm in a better space with him, but I've never shared this publicly, so that I gotta share it publicly. Because all y'all, the gatekeepers, are still thinking that I didn't page and check him. I just need, okay, for like 2 years, my relationship with my child was severed. Because I'm a good mom. The way y'all made it seem, oh, she's neglected. No, I said, if he feels like I'm the problem, whatever it was. But guess who had to end up testifying? Mommy. Guess who lost her sexual assault case? Mommy. Because mommy testified for the offspring that I didn't care about, knowing that those same police are the ones that are in charge of my sexual assault case. So do I put me first or do I put my son first? Then I find out all y'all motherfuckers is friends with the rapist. Go figure. Go figure. My son is good though. My son is alive. We're good. In spite of what you guys try to do. You try to isolate me. Starts off at the radio stations, the programs. Then you infiltrate family. Meanwhile, you guys are promoting your fatherhood as they were coming for my kid. Then they start promoting, oh, what great fathers they are, and how black men need more access to mentorships and this and that. And I'm sitting here watching all this shit, all these fake ass fucking awards that are being given away to our so-called legends. Why y'all steal my fucking story, my real fucking life? And y'all think this shit is about clout? Y'all think this is about me being bitter? Y'all think this is about you? If I
If my son didn't come back around, because I only got one, I fixated my whole life on one child. One. So, because I didn't want to be that. I had my son very young and very early, teen mom. I didn't want to be that statistic that had a bag of kids sitting on welfare, people complaining about us, blah, blah, blah. I didn't want to be that mom that couldn't give my kid the time and the energy and the things that he needed. So I said, I'm going to have one and focus on him and guide him. And when I finally got to a place where I'm like, all right, he's old enough. Because anybody who actually knew me when I was doing my events, my son was always there. There's a reason you don't see him anymore. He was always the person that was collecting your money at the door. He was always there. Because all of my little young queens, the little T's, the Hawaii Mighties, all y'all, no, you guys, when you guys needed backup dancers, it was me, not just getting backup dancers, but choreographing the fucking dances as well too. At fucking Daniel Spectrum, gathering little girls and shit and choreographing dances for other fucking rappers. And I don't get paid for this shit. Like, so to turn around and make it seem like, yo, I'm a monster, bro. I was like, yo, I might as well become that. Because being a good person has not been working for me lately. Like the only thing I can think of, because now my son is older, and when I sit down and you want to protect your kids from things. And when I can only have this conversation with y'all, because it's going to be twisted by the time I log off. I can only have this conversation now because I've had it with my son first. And he's the only person whose opinion of me matters. I don't give a fuck about no Chocolate, Maestro, Cardinal. None of you niggas matter, bro. You tried it and you failed. Miserably. My kid still loves me and he still realizes his mom is a real fucking, like, she's the one. When your kid can come to you and say, yo, I fucked up, but here's how I plan to do better. And I'm not mad at him for not a damn thing, because he's a kid and kids are gonna do stupid fucking shit. It is up to the adults. It takes a fucking village. There's no way in hell I could know any of my artist friends are going through problems with their kids and I'm gonna go sit there and sell their fucking story. Are you sick? There's no way I could be an artist, and just a person in general, but there's no way that I could be an artist and be out here and say, yo, that's little so-and-so's daughter. And I'm going to be like, yeah, let me fuck her over some more. I'd rather come and fight your mom. Even when I'm on social media and little kids step out of line, I'm like, tag your mom, bro. Go get your granny or your dad or some shit. I'm not going to sit here and fight people's fucking children. And I'm not going to sit here and turn nobody against my one fucking offspring who some of you fucking met. Y'all literally shook hands with my kid in my face and then tried to fuck him over. Because after you separated us, it wasn't like you were checking for him. You just left him. My kid was on house arrest on some bullshit. The pettiest crime ever for almost 2 fucking years. Because you guys decided to come and take him and say, Mommy don't want to help you. I'm the one that got the lawyer. I'm the one that put together the case. I'm the one that took the footnotes. I'm the one that fucking tested. I kept everything. I put everything together. The only thing the lawyer had to do was fucking present it. Because that was my kid. If I could have been the lawyer, I would have represented myself, my son, my damn self. And then to turn around, and because this lawyer wanted to become attorney general and he wanted to bump heads with the white people, so he didn't really want to push too hard when it came to my situation, because he still might needed to be close with them. But Black Lives Matters, though. These are, and I'm not going to say that particular lawyer's name, but if you know who the fuck I'm talking about, because they many people doing that shit. Y'all use black stories, Black Lives Matters. Y'all think Black Lives Matters is the issue? No. It's the people that were using the Black Lives Matters as a way to fit. That little girl was not thrown off the balcony, and everybody knew that shit. She jumped. But you've tugged on our fucking emotions so you could throw fucking rallies and protests so motherfuckers could perform. Y'all using real fucking lives and stories as sickos.
Black Lives Matters was not the fucking issues. It was the fucking people around it that I was a part of Black Lives Matters and we were doing good shit. And these fuckers dismantled that shit. And then have the whole world thinking that Black Lives Matters was the issue. When no, it was people, literally black people from the suburbs that don't like the black people from the ghetto, that feel like they're more than us. The same fucking black niggas that would have had slaves if they could. Those ones look deep enough. Those ones last name probably Freeman and all those shit. So yeah, when my Americans are like, oh, not like us. Are you kidding me? There's nobody who doesn't understand blackness, black police brutality on all different spectrums. I done been through it. Been through it all. To the point where, because I'm so outspoken, people, oh, she's crazy. Da-da-da. I said, okay, I'm crazy? Say less. Just like when they said, oh, she got AIDS, I went and took my AIDS test, right? Because you guys just make shit up and people will run with it. No AIDS. I'm crazy? All right, let me go to a psychiatrist. Psychiatrist, we don't have a diagnosis for you. You know what your diagnosis is? That you have been done wrong unjustly by the justice system so much. She said, I would have a diagnosis for you if you weren't pissed. Because then something would be wrong for you not being mad at the things that have happened to you. You've got every fucking reason to be pissed off. And the fact that you choose to just do podcasts instead of slitting your wrist, instead of turning into a whole murderer. Do you know how many times I watched that movie Monster with Charlize Theron? And I get it. So much of that. Instead, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to be a better person than all of you. I'm going to keep on every time you do some fuck shit because I realize the light is bothering you. So yeah, hold on, let me finish that. So yeah, for the people, oh, she's crazy, this and that, the psychiatrist told me herself she don't have a diagnosis for me. I volunteered to go do that. So nobody could ever. First of all, I think it's great that we take care of our mental health. But just because I kept hearing it so much, I said, you know what? You know what? Maybe I am crazy. Because everybody's saying this shit. So I'm not doing myself any fucking good if I'm crazy and I'm sitting here not figuring it out. So I went and I figured, and the lady, she's like, I wish I could record the conversation because the way she made me cry with the validation, and it took a fucking white lady, because I specifically said I wanted a black person, somebody who understands the community and what we're going through and blah, blah, blah. And they were like, well, we don't have one of those right now. Go figure. We don't have these shit in our community. But I got a nice Italian white lady. And we spoke for a good, like, almost 2 hours. And I was, like, certain when I was done telling her story, I'm like, yep, I'm getting locked up. You're going to put me on the 72-hour hold. I shouldn't have did this. And when I came back, and she was like, I have never met anybody more strong in my entire life. I don't even know. I don't know what to say to you. She's like, you just keep doing what it is that you're doing because it's obviously working for you. She gave me this word. I can't remember what it was called, but it's basically people who something or another, but it's people who have gone through really traumatic situations and then they turn it into a positive. I can't remember the word, but I wrote it down and because it was so powerful to me. I'm like, that is me. Like anytime people do fuck shit to me, I try to figure out like my mentality is this. You're not doing fuck shit to me. Thank you, Cody. You're not doing fuck shit to me. Feel free to drop stars and hearts and shit. Story's not free, but yeah, no, I'm joking. But yeah, you're not doing fuck shit just to me and it hurts me. Like there's something wrong with you. Healthy-minded people do not just wake up with the intention of terrorizing other people. That's not normal. That's not healthy at all. It is not normal. I'll go back and I'll say this again because some of you guys just popped in, so you're just going to see the tears and not know. But I was just basically clearing up the stories of like when the legendary Faith Walker lied on my name and told all the veterans in the game on her deathbed not to support me, not to play my music, not to put on any of my interviews, not to let Alicia Cinnamon break through, basically, because of a disagreement that she and I had. And it took years before I knew something was going on. I just didn't know what it was. And again, I'm not going to name the interviewer that finally told me, listen, we were hit up by her boyfriend not to put out your interview. And I said, I knew it, bro. I knew it because every fucking time I'll do interviews and my interviews are good. Most of my interviews are supposed to be 20 minutes and they end up being 2 or 3 hours because I'm intriguing. And then they don't get put out. And I'm like, why? Like, I don't just talk for the sake of talking. I do interviews when I'm promoting a project or this or that or whatever, whatever. So when I realized that was actually like the game plan, and then these are the same people. It was her now. These motherfuckers. Then I'm supposed to turn around and be like, yeah, shout out the legends. No, I am a legend. I don't look up to nobody in this music industry at all. When you guys deliberately, even when I was doing the play, Little White Lie, and they kicked me out of the play because they said I had too much going on for me. I was singing, I dropped my album, I was traveling, and these motherfuckers ambushed me in the basement and basically said, like, and this is Shockler's, or not Shockler, what's his name? Carnell's brethren. This is how I met Carnell, right? Anybody remember the play that I was doing? I was doing a play. We were only supposed to do the play once. I came to the guy and I said, yo, I think you have potential to, keep this going. I don't think you should just do it one off. It was just supposed to be for his birthday. I said, keep going. He's like, yeah, I don't know. Da, 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 da. I don't think so. Blah, blah, blah. I said, keep going. I'm about to go to Atlanta right now. That was the first time I went to Atlanta. That was when I dropped my album. I said, I'm about to go to Atlanta right now. And like, I know some people who do plays and all that stuff or whatever. We could really get the shit going. They're like, okay. Exactly. Fuck the church. No offense to those that go, but I am the church. So again, that play was just supposed to be a one-off. On the way to rehearsals, because the director would pick me up, he would drive. I replaced somebody because the director's wife wasn't comfortable with that chick because shit happens behind the scenes. Cool. So I get brought in as the replacement person. So I get brought in not knowing that there's drama already going down, right? I just come in to act. Yeah. And to those of you guys, this is the time I got Aunt Vi. This is why I hated Will Smith for a good long while, because it happened to me, okay? So after I dropped my album, came back, and now the energy was different. The people that I'm doing this play with, they're hating on me. Oh, you're always leaving the country and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, do you know I left the country and came back to do your play that I'm not getting paid for it? Like, I dropped my album, and I slowed down my fucking momentum and came back just out of obligation. And most people would have said, yeah, fuck this shit. You said you're going to do the play once? I'm out. I said, I'm a main character, so I'm not going to leave the whole cast hanging because I'm on some diva shit, even though I could have. So I stayed. I kept coming back. I stayed. And because there was jealousy towards, what up, Neil? Because there was jealousy towards me, I'm just getting everything off my fucking chest so that people can start the new year off in 2025 deciding on if they like me for their damn selves. So, because I actually hit up this person and I said, we need to talk and I need like a proper apology because you don't realize what you did to me. And I never got it. And I've been waiting. And I've been watching these people try to slowly push me out of the industry rather than just say sorry. So fuck it. All hats are off. So pretty much after that, so yeah, the venue, I started helping them get venues, do all types of different shit. The play was in shambles, okay? Like everything we were doing was ghetto behind the scenes, right? But nobody knows that. Cool. So then finally, I'm giving them pointers. I'm saying, hey, let's do this and let's do that and blah, blah, blah. And nothing is happening. This person went, I said, hey, we should, you ever tell somebody like, hey, you should wear the color purple? And they're like, no, I'm not going to wear the color purple. And then all of a sudden they show up and they're in the color purple and they're telling everybody like, I just woke up and decided to wear the color purple today. That's what happened to me. So I'm like, nigga, I'm the one that told you to do this shit with the play. Why aren't you telling the rest of the cast? Like, they just think I'm this random singer that doesn't add value. Let them know that I have a value here. Like, I'm really out. Y'all were only supposed to do Little White Lie once. And it is an ongoing thing now because of Alicia Cinnamon. Okay? It's a movie now because of Alicia Cinnamon. Because I said to the director or whatever he was, the producer, I see greatness in you. You are bigger than just a one fucking night. Let's take it to a next scale. We can go down to Fuse. Remember when Fuse restaurant was popping? I'm like, we can go down to Fuse. You could do your birthday party, your after party. Let's get it crack-a-lacking. But as per normal, because there was a biracial girl that they wanted to promote, mind you, you get Alicia Cinnamon because of who I am. But then you want me to come into play and small up my fucking self. That's like asking Beyonce to be in a movie and then telling her not to be Beyonce.
Don't ask celebrities to be a part of shit that don't have nothing to do with their brand, unless obviously you're trying to benefit off the brand. So now I'm smalling up myself because there's this girl there that is not as good as me, as always, because I'm not going to do nothing that I'm not friggin' good at. Some girls are just good at being pretty. So then they kept trying to tell her, oh, you got to step your game up, da, da, da. So then they're telling me, every time I'm acting, there's something wrong with my character. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. Blah, 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 whatever, whatever. Because a lot of these people were theater people. I might be a singer, but those don't know. I started off, I went to music theater school. So I might be an R&B singer, but my foundation is in music theater. Bro, Broadway is where I'm at. So when I'm watching them, they're critiquing me. And I'm like, you're only critiquing me because you want to fuck this girl. But your wife won't let it happen. So therefore, now you're picking on me because I came in as a replacement and realized, oh, the other girl already got replaced because you didn't know how to fucking control your shit. Now here I come in the middle of this bullshit, and I don't think I was actually brought in for real reasons. I was probably brought in to be another groupie because all the bitches in the set were groupies. So I'm like, yeah, now I gotta be a groupie. Okay, I'm not a groupie, bro. I already had a name for myself. We ain't doing this shit. You hired Alicia Cinnamon to act, right? Now we're being forced to do sleepovers because all of our rehearsals were at his house. Now we're being forced to do sleepovers. Not because we're beneficial to us, but because it's an excuse for the two of them to do the little dirty rub up and the wife won't realize nothing. Sorry, I gave you a whole fucking how many years to fucking apologize, bro. All right? So the final straw, I'm like, listen, I got a kid. I can't be doing fucking sleepovers to cover up your bullshit. I'll come when we have rehearsal and that's it. I got a whole career. So I come back now. I went to the States, come back. And all of a sudden I'm not good enough. We did the first play. Everybody loved me. Loved me. Okay. I was more next to maybe one or two. I would say the people on the side were more important than the main fucking characters and their boring ass selves. Just because you know how to write a play doesn't mean you can act. I'm sorry, and I don't even care if you see this shit. Like, I don't care about none of y'all. Because you're the reason why I'm going through so much problems. Because you blacklisted, blackballed, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and you never rectified that shit. So here we are. So now I'm like, yo, everybody just saw the play and they loved it. There was no bad, whatever. So why you guys keep telling me that I'm not acting right? Because now we're flashing forward. So I'm like, if you want to replace me, just say that. But it's fucked up for you guys to try to replace me when I'm the reason why we're even having a third and a fourth. Now you want to replace me? I'm the one that told this nigga to do another one. He didn't even want to do that shit. Are you kidding me? And now you're going to replace me? Okay, cool. Say less. So I'm like, this is the third person. I'm the second person that's been replaced for this fucking character. I don't think it's me, it's y'all. The director's telling me, da, da, da. And I'm like, no, you guys had a particular person that you wanted to shine from all of this. Like, I'm the one that said, put my music in your play. You need music? Take some music, put it in your play. This nigga wasn't doing nothing other than his play. Then all of a sudden, he's like, you know what? I want to get back into music. So it's like, okay, here we go. Now I'm getting pushed out the way and I'm being told, why don't you focus more on your music? Why do you want to do both? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, why can't I do both? Why are you guys hating? So I get ambushed in the basement. I flew back into the fucking city. This is why I'm like, yo, bro, fuck all y'all. When you guys call me back in, money have to run. Straight up. I flew back in off of my own dollar to the city for them to fire me. Chilling in Atlanta. Doing my shit on my own damn dollar. People treated me like the queen of the north that I am. And they made me fly back into Toronto from Atlanta so they could fire me and ambush me in the man's basement. There's 20 of them just going, oh, da-da-da-da, you think you're all that, blah, blah, blah. I started crying. I'm like, yo, you know how much money I just spent to come back and be cussed out? You couldn't do this on the phone? Are you serious? And I'm like, if it wasn't for me, if I said I wasn't going to come back the first time, you wouldn't even have been able to put on this play because I was one of the main characters. And you didn't have enough time to train somebody and make them learn all over again. So I sacrificed, and again, I didn't get paid $1 for this play. So I sacrificed and did 3 extra ones so that you guys had time to figure out how to replace me. And then when I say, you know what, I'm going to just balance it both out. You fly me in and you fire me and you ambush me in your fucking, in your whatever with the whole cast. Just It was like a Saved by the Bell scene. Just the girl in the middle and the bully just picking on her. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this shit? So I'm like, yo, they're defending you. And you and I know what we negotiate. They might not understand this shit. But you and I know I'm the one that told you to do this shit, nigga. And now they're trying to get rid of me? Are you crazy? And not because I did anything, but because I got too much going on. I'm still showing up to rehearsals. I still know my parts. I'm still killing it. I can miss 10 rehearsals and I'm still better than you quote unquote actors. I don't need to be here. I got a kid to take care of. Call me when we're doing some real work. Fucking sitting around and playing games. And I don't want to be friends with people like that. I'm not a friendly person. I like money and business, and that is it. That's why you guys hired me to do this shit. So I'm like, all right, cool. So they fired me. They invited me, switched me over with the girls that were dying. They wanted, the same girls like, oh my God, we loved you in the play. Right? I was like, I feel like you should put wifey. If you're going to replace anybody, because you keep replacing us because you got problems, put your wife in it. Because I fucked with her. I still do. I'm sorry if this video bothers you. Wifey, straight up. The reason why I got problems with people is because I was writing for you. So super talented female. I'm like, why is she in the background, bro? While you're disrespecting this gal. Put her in the front. She could sing. She does this. She does that. So then all of a sudden now they go and they resurrect her or whatever with Universal and blah, blah, blah. And now we got to bump out Alicia Cinnamon because as soon as they bump me out, guess who's in Atlanta? They're the same blood clot people then. But you didn't like when I was there though, right? Then I started getting, because this is where Carnell came to the show. He loved me. And I was like, yeah. I think you were great, blah, blah, blah. Then the little nigga sister in his ear, she's not the one that we're looking towards. We need the little coolie one. Anybody who grew up in Bleecker, remember Sharona? Yeah, the little coolie one. Sharona's beautiful. She's not as good as me. I don't give a shit. She knew that. I knew that. No effort, just there. So I'm like, all right, cool. And the thing is, I went to elementary school, high school with her. We've always had the same issue that we look very similar, but I am the hood version. I'm the version that she's very feminine, very dainty, but her friends always like, oh my God. And then this is like the second time that we have been through this. I'm like, every time I get around this girl, it's the same shit, bro. There's always some weird competition that you gotta take. Just be better than me, bro. Just do it. Just be better. I've known elementary, high school, now we're grown adults and it's the same fucking energy. So the same shit I came to when I said, you don't know I know this person, but I know this person. I'm not doing this. I already know the energy. I'm a big one. I already know when niggas want to fuck and where their energy is at and all this shit. I don't have time for this shit. Pay me. Right? So then, now they label me as difficult. She can't work with her. She's difficult. She's problematic. She's this. She's that. Blah, blah, blah. So now I'm watching this play go by. And all these people that were fans of mine in the play are now watching me get at vibe. As I'm labeled as the angry, miserable black woman, not the woman that helped this play get off its ground, not the one that gave them the idea to turn it into a fucking movie, not the one that was bringing it to life, not the one that the real actors were saying, we love working with you. But, and people come to me and saying, yo, if it wasn't for you and like one or two other people, this play would have been boring, bro. Right? But I'm difficult and I'm problematic. So this is why I don't look up to the vets. I've seen some of the people, certain females popped inside of here and they're like, oh, she's talking about people we know. I'm jumping out. I don't give a shit. Because some of you guys I know in real life and you guys watch me like I'll be on the phone with you crying about these same people. And you knew this before I even spoke about it. But the minute I bring it to the surface, it's like, well, I still want to be friends with them. So I'm just going to act like I don't know what the fuck is going on. I expect that from dudes. But in 2025, for me going forward, there's a lot of women, don't blink in my direction. Straight up. There's a lot of women who are getting blocked from my social media because y'all be the same ones that'll be calling me in the late nights, telling me your troubles and your traumas. And then the minute that you realize like, okay, your problem is fixed because I fix people's problems, then it's fuck Cinnamon. So all that energy that I've been investing into other people, I'm going to keep all of it and its greatness for myself and for my child. That is it. Nobody is getting any more access to me unless there's money in fucking involved, bro. I don't have any friends. I got a beautiful Siamese cat and an adorable, handsome son and 15 siblings. Never needed friends growing up, and I realized why. When you got 15 siblings, you're a very antisocial person, and that is the reason why I am the way that I am. I love a couple of my siblings. My sisters are old enough that I can go out with them now. That's all I need. I don't need this shit. Cause like, bro, If anybody ever told me that this is what I was coming into, I would have never, ever, ever done music. Which is why when people are like, oh, when are you gonna drop an album? Man, fuck the album, bro. There's so much trauma. That's why Rihanna's like, I'm not doing music anymore. There's so much just to put out a song. Just to put out a fucking song. That is it. And the thing is, it's not a me story, because these same people, when I sit there and I talk to other people, my mouth getting dry. When I sit there and I talk to other people, and we realize that we're talking about the same demons. Everybody's got a problem with these people for the past 20, 25 years. But for me, what really just, like I said, the real eye-opener is me allowing, and we'll just wrap this up again. The reason why I decided, like, yo, bro, this shit's coming out. I allowed Faith Walker to cuss the fuck out of me because she had cancer, because I didn't know if I was going to trigger her. And then she turned around and told everybody I cussed her off and said she didn't have cancer. And from since then, the circle has been blackballing me in the name of her death. I was even at an event and her boyfriend was trying to fight me physically. Like, physically, the man wanted to scrap. I'm in the bathroom and apparently people were holding him back because he wanted to come in the bathroom to fight me. And I'm like, you weren't even there when she cussed me off. That's why now I don't let nobody cuss me. You'll never, at least you'll be able to say, yes, she actually did it. Because the big one regret I have in my career is not telling about herself that day when she tried to steal my music, pitch it to Maestro and Cardinal and them. And I said, no, you cannot, respectfully. This is my song. And then it was, oh, she said I don't have cancer and blah, blah, blah. And this whole lying ass, hating ass campaign that these I'm sorry, my sisters are light-skinned too, and it's a fact. Light-skinned girls will sit there and use this damsel in distress, especially in the industry, and people are going to look at it, okay, if I got to pick between the fair light-skinned biracial girl and the angry black woman, who do we believe more? And I just had to sit there, and I was new. I was new in the industry, so I'm like, fuck. I'm not trying to be warring with the Julies and the Cardinals and the Chocolates and this and that. Now I don't care, bro. Let's fight. Straight up. Let's somebody set up celebrity boxing so we can really do this shit in real life. Except for with Julie, because Julie will beat the shit out of me. But the rest of y'all, let's go. Straight up. Because I feel like I need that lick back. I need that final release, because where I come from, these things that people are doing, you will get killed for. Like, I come from like a place where like people every other day are jumping off balconies and shit, like real shit. And then you got people who grew up with their mommies and daddies and haven't really had to struggle a day in their life, and bless you. That is amazing. But then y'all want to come and make life difficult for people who already came from difficult situations? Not me, bro. Not me. I'm proud of me. Straight the fuck up. I am proud of me for taking on the entire Canadian music industry by myself. And it's only going to get worse after this video, because they're going to go into damage control. Every motherfucking time they watch my videos, oh shit. Instead of saying, you know what? Maybe we should stop doing this shit. They're just going to put on another song. Just like when I put the day before, and I had a girl tag me. This is why I know this legendary song that they put out is bullshit. In the same way you guys like to sabotage my releases and sabotaging yours. It's bullshit. It's the same shit you guys did last time when you filmed in my motherfucking video. It's a way to try to intimidate me. It's not happening. Straight up. It's not fucking happening. Thank you. I appreciate that. You're one of the realists. Like straight up. Like, there's so many people that I came in and I'm like, man, like, I don't look at them the same anymore. And it's disappointing, because now when we're in a situation where we're fighting Americans to say, like, sorry, YouTube, I'm over here on Facebook and vice versa. When we're fighting Americans now, and they're like, we don't have no backative. There's a reason why, yo, bro, I wish I could hug Drake. There is a reason why he's getting his ass whooped, because there was so much division in the Canadian music industry that they can't even actually defend the man, because it would be hypocritical, because they are the same people that did not want to see him shine. They're happy that he's not getting into a certain level. So with that, I'm just like, yo, right about now, we need to just kind of like come to a full circle And when I say support your local artists, I'm not talking about the ones that you've already have had a 30-year run. The ones that you actually see on your fucking social media. The ones that you guys interact with on a regular basis. Those are who you need to be supporting. Not the ones that already have the record labels backing them. The ones you'll never see them come to a community event. The ones that you gotta pay an arm and a leg to see and shit like that. They don't do free shit unless it's somehow beneficial for them. There's a lot of times when I'm like, you know what? I know the type of audience that I have. Some of them just ain't got it. Even when I was doing the play, and I was like, they're like, oh, we only want people to be able to buy credit, like online through credit cards. I'm like, some people don't have credit cards. Like, I know my fan base does a lot with cash. You're gonna block out a certain demographics of people. No, because we like the look of how, if they don't have credit card, like, who cares? Some people fucked up their credit when they were 16 or 17. That doesn't mean they don't have money. That doesn't mean that they don't deserve to be a part of certain shit. Like, you're ostracizing a whole demographics of people because the type of money they have isn't good enough. Now we're doing moneyism. Like, what the hell? So I'm the type of person where I'm like, okay, sometimes I look at it and it's like some of my fan base, I know they don't have it like that. I'm not going to charge them $200-$300 to come see some shit that's really worth like $20. And sometimes I'll just do a free shit. Just pay what you can, because somebody might drop $100 and the next person might do it for free. Like, there's ways to give back without actually having to like break yourself or break the bank or whatever. It's just showing a level of appreciation for your fans to say, like, I truly understand, you know, what you're going through, or the fact that you don't have to buy my music. You don't have to do nothing. What I'm selling, like, it's the same way when people buy shoes or this or that or whatever. It's a service that I'm selling, but you don't have to. So the fact that somebody's taking $1, $2, whatever, and contributing into my brand, I'm appreciative, straight up. And whenever I get the opportunity to show that gratitude, whether it's through a free showcase or some live shit, just singing or this or that, but I'm not gonna make it that the only time you guys can see me, even if I don't sing. Like the other day, I was out at an event, and they're like, asked me, "Do you want to sing?" I was like, "No, I'm good. I just came to support it." First of all, you're not paying me. But second of all, I just came here to support it. Like, I don't have to, every time I see a microphone, touch the mic. Sometimes support could just be in the physical form. I don't have to make the night be about me just because I'm here. We need to normalize that shit. Like, normalize fucking letting somebody else shine. And I think for me, because I have so many moments of where I shine, I'm not desperate for that. Like, I know when I actually do touch the stage, when I actually do sing in person, it is a blessing. And I say this, like, I don't know how to say it without it sounding arrogant, but there's an energy that comes from me when I sing. This is my gift. This is the vessel that God has given me to share my purpose with people. So when I start to sing, it's a blessing for whoever's receiving that, because you are receiving an energy that other people are not going to get. It's just pureness. It's pure positive. If you're a spiritual person or whatever, it's just pure spiritual vibes that you're getting. So I got to be in a good space to give that kind of energy, because when I'm done giving it to you, I'm drained. So I don't kill it myself to jump on every stage or whatever. I got to know that the people that are there when I'm performing are ready to receive my energy, and not that they're just in a space and they want to spin on their head top and do all type of things and whatever. It's like time and place. Not every opportunity is a good opportunity. So that was just, my little way of like saying, like, I'm here. I promoted it, got people to come out. It was great to see people. It would have been a great opportunity for people to see me perform, but at the same speed, it's like you just see me physically. And I feel like I used to see Jamal McGlure and all that stuff. He was always like just out. When the last time you just went to fucking McDonald's and just seen Cardinal? Like, you don't. These people make sure they go out of their way not to be seen. The other day I was just at was it yesterday? No, Saturday at an after party. I'm seeing Father Price. I haven't seen him in a hot minute. You don't need to be everywhere, but every now and then it's nice to show people that I'm still here. When you want those levels of respects or accolades or this or that or whatever, like, people just pop up during Juno season and they expect everybody to worship the ground that they walk on. And the same people that are giving out the Junos are the ones that are submitting for it. The Junos is like, it makes no sense that the same people that are nominating people are the ones that are behind the panel. So I just have to pay a yearly fee, and I'm going to do it next year just to prove a point. I'm gonna go join the Caracast, whatever the hell it's called. I'm gonna go pay for it, join it, and then I'm gonna pick my Juno winners because that's what it is. It's a joke, bro. A joke thing. That's why it's the same set of people over and over and over, year after year after year. Because if you could nominate your own freaking friend, then when I actually got sent messages from people that were showing, hey, somebody sent me a message saying not to play your music, and they were doing it to all the radio stations. So then I did an experiment with myself. I made all of my fans bombard the fuck out of 98.7. To the point where I started seeing the DJs in my stories wondering what was going on. And then instead of playing my music, they went and found some coolie gal from Scarborough to support because they want to make it look like we're playing Toronto artists. But we don't want to, no matter what, even when you are bombarding the lines, we're not playing Alicia Cinnamon. So you don't give a fuck about giving the listeners what they want to hear. You just want to promote your bridges. That is it. That is it. That is all. And it's the fact that they want to, like, people be mad at me for talk. Why are you doing it? If you want people to talk better about you, be a better person. Straight up. I'm supposed to just sit here and know that like 50, 60 people blew the fuck up out of those lines. And you didn't say, let me just go and you had time to go in my story, but you didn't have time to go in your email and take the blood clot song and go play it in your fucking your next set. Not to mention it was my birthday. So instead, even if they didn't play the music, people were giving me birthday shout outs. They didn't even want to say happy birthday. Home of the black music. 98.7 with all the coolie DJs there. Couldn't even say happy birthday because you want to act like we don't acknowledge Alicia Cinnamon. You don't have no choice. You don't have any fucking choice. I done put in too much fucking work that when you guys stop playing my shit or when you're not supporting it, the general public is going to know why. They're going to be wondering. They're going to be like, hey, man, you know what? Every time people hear my music, they're like, how the fuck is this not on the radio? I was like, yeah, good question. Go and call them and ask them. Ask them that. Because they'll try to convince everybody that my music sucks, but yet every time people hear my music, the first response is, how is this not on the fucking radio? Period. Because my music is incredible. Because I don't waste there's nothing that I do that's not good. I've never done anything and failed. I might have given up because I got turned off. Like if I see 85 people doing the same shit that I'm doing, I don't want to do it anymore. I don't know if that's ADHD. I don't know what it is. But I don't like doing nothing that everybody and their mom is doing. I like being my own fucking individual person, doing me, creating my own genres, my own this, my own everything. Unlike people who don't know what it's like to give birth to a creative idea in their life. So that was my truth. The Alicia Cinnamon story. I swear every time I sip tea with you guys, I cry more than y'all do. But it's more of like it's a relief. It's like, yo, I can't believe I didn't put these people on blast earlier, bro. What the fuck? I don't let too much slide. Way too much slide for people that I would actually have fought in real life. Like when I have these weird old girls that you guys try to send, I'm like, yo, I don't care about maniacs and psychopaths and shit like that. But like some of you nerd ass motherfucking dudes, and it's like, yo, you guys are the same ones that like could never come on the ends. And now you're trying to go on like you're wicked and bad. Or the females that were just nerds. Or some of you females, you went and got married and settled down and did all that shit at a very early whatever. Even when I got married, like I don't say this like with pride or whatever, but my music came before my husband, which is why I still focus more on my music. He and I were great friends, but he realized like she is married to the fucking music. A lot of women would prefer to just drop a single, go breed, go marry somebody who's popular in the industry, and now they're just demoed. I don't want to be that person. So when I sit here and I look at some of these women that were willing to make certain sacrifices, but yet they feel entitled because they have a good voice. I don't feel like I'm entitled to anything just because I can sing. It's the work that I put in, the sacrifices that I have made to get to this point. So the only legend that I look up to in Toronto is me. I'm legendary, bro. I don't give a fuck. I'm not. I tried so hard to give everybody their flowers and like support people and blah, blah, blah. And I just realized I'm like, bro, these people don't know good people. And when you see somebody that like, people are so used to bad mind that when you see somebody who's genuinely like doing something like good, it's like repellent. It's like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with that person, bro? Did they actually help somebody? It's a repellent. And I realize that in our community, it is so, like, everybody feels like you're so strong when you suffer in silence. Everybody thinks that you're doing something incredible when you sit here and you let people walk all over you. And the Black community is fucking, we pride ourselves on how much suffering you can take, like we're still friggin' slaves. No, we don't need to do that shit anymore. It is like, how much you can suffer is the reason why so many people die from high blood pressure and heart problems and all kind of other shit. How many people I know that literally have anxiety problems? Like, I literally, like, I research when I'm going through shit. Some people go through shit and they want to be around people. When I'm going through shit, you won't see me. Because I'm not going to give you my dark ass fucking energy. I'll come back around when I'm in a better space. The most, for myself, I like to talk. I like to talk and clear and clear my head and get my thoughts out, because a lot of the stuff that is eating me up inside is my own internal thoughts in my head. Because it's like, yo, if I just put it in the universe can handle it. But as long as I don't put it in the universe, I can't let it do its work. So when people, like, that's why I say I'm a chatty patty. It's not for anybody. It's for me. Go and read the book, The Celestine Prophecy, or watch the movie, or read the book, the document, what's it called? The Secret. I live by that thoroughly, that if I want something, I'm going to speak into the universe. And if I want to get something out of my system, I got to speak into the universe, because nobody can know your problem if you don't talk. I just need to make sure that I'm in a safe space, in a healthy space. And if I'm speaking about things, the people who I might compromise or this or that, they're on board. Aside from the people I don't give a fuck about who put me in this position in the first place. Like I said, I don't care who want to get mad at this live and, oh, no. You guys should be mad at the people that are gatekeeping for over 25 years. That's what y'all need to do. And all the artists that have been out here trying to throw other artists under the bus just so they can be friends with these people instead of creating their own fucking lane. I could have been so much further ahead in the, what's the word, visual sense, if I just kissed ass. But spiritually, that is why you have so many people where everything looks like everything is okay, and then all of a sudden they're committing suicide. And nobody can figure out why. It's like, wow, I was just talking to them and they seemed like everything was cool. And it's like, yeah, because they had to put on that character, that persona for you. But they really weren't okay. Because the minute that they showed people something was wrong or they had a weakness, now all of a sudden, they're nobodies. And their position of being the people pleaser, I no longer aspire to be. Like, I gave that up. I don't give a fuck about pleasing nobody. Because there's nobody out here worried about pleasing me. The fuck? Like, my vision for myself is, I gotta live with me. The pandemic should have taught everybody that, but it definitely taught me I gotta live with me for the rest of my life. And when we're locked up, I wish they would lock us up again. I was so happy during COVID. When we're locked up again, because we're probably gonna get another spell of that soon. Like, people should really just, you know what I mean? Take the time to get to know yourself. And once I took that time to get to know who I was, I realized that, like, yo, a lot of people don't deserve access to me. Like, a lot of people have not taken the time to work on themselves. And a lot of the reoccurring issues that I have are those spirits bringing back those same things, whether it's people, places, or just energy that I've already elevated myself from. So now the only person, it takes a while for me to talk about shit, because sometimes I'm embarrassed that I'm even in that situation, because it's like, I thought we overcame this shit. But good energy attracts all energy. People think that, oh, you're just attracting negative energy because you're a negative person. No. Positive attracts negative, and positive attracts positive. You attract all type of energy when you're a good person. Who doesn't want to be attracted to greatness? Who doesn't want to be associated or affiliated with that shit? So the idea of you must be low vibrational because you're attracting low vibrations, no. I'm not saying it's not a case, but no. Low vibrational people are attracted to high vibrational people. Just like narcissists are attracted to people who are doing well in life. A lot of people's are what do they call it? Provoking spirits. A lot of people thrive off of, if I could just tear this person down, it'll make me feel, it's like a temporary high. It'll make me feel better for an hour or two or a week or two. And they have to keep on doing it. It's just like people who, you know, there's a reason why they talk about sacrificing humans. It's a real thing. It's not just joking somebody with a pitchfork and whatever. You can really siphon somebody's energy. And really and truly, like, the more young they are, this is why people are attracted to youthfulness. Has nothing to do with it's the energy that you can steal from them when they're pure, when they're innocent, when they haven't been corrupted by the world, right? Men say they like young women for that reason, because it's easier to steal their good energy. You don't have to fight the bad energy. And it's not even bad energy, it's energy that says, I done been through this already, you're not gonna do it again. It's boundaries. People like being around people whose boundaries haven't been made yet. Not people, but evil people like being around people whose boundaries haven't been set yet. So you can get what you need to get from them. Don't nobody really want to be around somebody that you have to, like, especially if you're like a manipulative person. It's the higher level of narcissists that really like breaking people down. But the majority of people like going for younger people, vulnerable people, which is why a lot of the music industry, going back into it, they like attacking people that come from, the hood. But what I noticed is like, because most of these people came from the Jane and Finches and blah, 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 right? But it seems like it's okay to be a black man from the hood, but a black female from the hood, it's let's shit on her, or she doesn't deserve a chance at life, or blah, blah, blah. Like, we didn't come out all of the same crotches. Makes no sense to me. And that's why I say Canada is its own, Toronto specifically, with all the different cultures and entities that we have, we are our biggest enemies. Because, like, you could kick it with a white person and they know you're from the hood or whatever, and as long as like they're safe, they're not coming and judging your house, what kind of furniture you have, or this or that. Those black people like, oh, you don't have a 60-inch TV, you only have a 42? Wow. You don't have Netflix? You only have Prime? Wow. Like, stupid ass shit that you can no longer comfortably be yourself around these people, and we're constantly putting not we, y'all, constantly putting themselves in debt to impress people who are like a paycheck away from homelessness. A paycheck away, but because they are living above their means, it looks good on the surface. And then they can sit there, pop style and whatever. And again, we have successful people in our community, but let's just be realistic. Nobody can live, not nobody. I would say a 2 percentile of people can live in the actual city of Toronto and be banking. No, you're not. Brampton is a little expensive. Barrie, Orangeville, Newmarket, Oshawa, all them places that y'all buying houses and trying to brag because you have a house. Those houses cost like $60,000, $70,000. I'm joking, but they're not a lot of money, right? If you can buy a house inside of the city of Toronto, then I can say you're balling. Because just to get a shitty little condo is like $500,000. So a lot of people be bragging about shit not because you have money, but because you chose to live within a reasonable budget, or you chose to go on the outskirts. It doesn't mean you're rich. So we need to stop like assuming because somebody has a house or because somebody has a car, they're rich. Because my ex-husband was a mortgage broker, and majority of the people that I knew were in debt own homes. And most of their kids were going to get a rude awakening when they realized all the college fee that they had set aside is gone because they had to keep on taking out second loans or this or that to pay off their house. Live within a reasonable means. You can want more for yourself, but having a house, we're not in the 1920s. Having a house doesn't carry the same weight it did when our parents and our grandparents were buying houses and shit. When the houses were like $60,000. When you were having kids very young, and you might die because your dad is going off to war or this or that. So yes, you need a house for the kids when they're in their early 20s, so they might have a house or this or that. Right about now, most of us are like going to be living into our late 60s, 70s. Why does your parent need to give you a house? You should have your own house by then. So it's not the same thing. It's great to have shit, but there's other things that you can own than a house or whatever. Worse, like I don't really invite people to my space, and then when I do, I'm not really home a lot. So it's like my space is comfortable. I remember it was Maya, and she said she got a studio apartment. And that's it. It's like, my space is comfortable for me. Like, when I had small kids and all that shit, and like, yeah, make sure I have snacks and for all these kids and da-da-da and this and that. Now it's like, yo, you're coming here and you're getting like some carrots. Like, we're doing things. My space is for me. not so that I can entertain others and whatnot. Like, I don't give a fuck about keeping up with the Joneses and all that stuff. I gotta be happy when I'm in my space and winding down. It's gotta be beneficial and comfortable for me, not for somebody on Facebook that when I take pictures that they could see my winding staircase or this or that or whatever. Like, I don't care about that shit. I understand there's branding, but again, there's a way that you brand yourself. If you want to brand yourself as like this artist that has all the money in the world and this and that, cool. But just remember, when your budget runs low, it's going to be sticky icky trying to keep up that mentality. I'm not broke, but I'm not rich. And I'll say that all the time. Don't rob me. These chains, they ain't real. Don't come for me. Nothing. I had a dude on the street that was asking, oh, your chains, your chains. He asked me about 4 times. I said, listen, nigga, I'll send you the link. This is not real. So you can stop looking at my neck. You're not about to come rob me for no fucking chain you can go buy for your damn self. It is not real. And he just started laughing. I was like, yeah. Because you know, I asked about the chain like 3 or 4 different times. I had the set. It's like, I don't wear other than gold in my ears because I'm allergic. I'm not going into a local bar with 50,000 on my neck for fucking what? Like, there's things that we do that we bring attention upon ourselves. Like, we shout out to World Order, who just, you know, was killed in Jamaica. I'm not really sure the significance, but I heard he was selling. Somebody said on the video he was selling a hat, and then the guy shot him. I seen on the caption somebody said it was over an iPhone 16. Like, there are some really desperate ass people out there, green-eyed, envious ass fucking people out there. Try it. I mean, there's a time and a place. If I'm not going somewhere where everybody else is wearing 50,000 on their neck, I'm not trying to be the only person in the room with 50,000 on my neck. Fuck that. I would rather be the brokest person in the room, because when you're ready to rob people, I'm gonna be the last. Straight up. Time and place for everything. Like, so that is my relief. Where we live now, 2 hours and 55 minutes. Normally it's only supposed to be an hour. That's my sipping tea with cinnamon, the gut, whatever it is that I need to get off my chest. Yeah, and in 2025, it's just me against the world. 2025, I think I've exposed all my enemies. I spent this whole year trying to find out who the fuck was stalking me from those fake accounts, and I done figured out each and every last one of you guys. So don't trust me. It's up. That's all I can say is we're not cool. We're not. Anybody who's done some fuck shit to me and you haven't apologized, especially if I've given you the opportunity to apologize, we are not cool at all. And I have plans to get my lick back. I'm not even saying it's going to be in 2025. It might be in 15 years from now because I'm a Scorpio. But anybody who has done wrong to me, we're not cool. And I figured you out, and you need to keep it moving. I might let it slide if you leave me alone starting now. But you see, if I see one little I know there's any people, oh, she had the nerve. I spoke the truth about what you guys did to me. Go and speak the truth and counteract it. Stop with these little indirect diss tracks and this and that. Say something. Say my name. Stop all this watching my shit and then trying to indirect and then stop trying to bully me. This is why Megan Thee Stallion is suing. These behind the scenes tactics where only they know what the hell is going on. But then they want to be like, oh my God, I don't know. No, you're troubling people when you think nobody's looking. And we know. So shout out to Meg and her money. Keep your foot on their motherfucking necks. Your foot on their neck. Because like I said, I was fucking prepositioned to write a diss track about that girl with all her information. So that she would, and then when I didn't do it, I went against the Canadian Green. And so, yeah, that was another opportunity to be blackballed. To me, I'm not dissing no other black female. And if you got to make somebody do that shit, you're guilty. Straight up. If you got to intimidate the person that is quote unquote pressing charges, this, that, you're a guilty person. Because if you know you didn't do something to somebody, the truth would just, if I know I didn't shoot you or I didn't do anything to you, I don't have to prove that I did. It will just be there. There's no gun in my hand. There's no this. There's no that. I don't need to send people to intimidate you. So when Meg is saying it, she is not lying. Because I just spent 3 hours explaining to you guys all the shit that has been happening behind the scenes to Alicia Cinnamon. So imagine Meg the fucking Stallion. Shout out to her, especially because she lost her mom, her dad, everybody. That she was going through it by herself. Shout out to Megan the fucking Stallion, girl. Somebody believes you over here. Somebody believes every word that has came out of your freaking mouth. You are not lying. And you got your vindication. Luckily, you got your, because here in Toronto, the perpetrators, they work with the police. So I didn't get my vindication. But Meg got her vindication. And I hope she keeps her foot on Tori's neck. Not because I have an issue with Tori, but because I wish Tori, I'm tired of these waste men in Toronto, especially in the music industry. I'm tired of it. And I wish you guys would have this energy to focus on your friggin' music instead of men in the music industry always constantly attacking women behind closed doors like a bunch of little bitches, knowing that if you ever went to Regent Park or Blake Street or any of these places, you would get your ass whooped on site. You could never do this shit actually in real life. And this is why people think Canadians are soft. Because I got a lot of Americans, especially that tuned in, and every time I'm talking and they're like, yo, Toronto? And I can't defend it anymore. I used to be like, yeah, Toronto, whatever. And I'm like, I can't friggin' defend when people say like, Toronto has soft people or this or that or whatever. It's like, I don't know what to say anymore. I used to ride so hard and now I'm like, it's true, bro. We do look soft on the surface. Like the stuff that we like, there's so much bigger shit that we got to worry about. And we out here being our biggest fucking enemies. So that is sipping tea, a whole 3 fucking hours you guys got. I don't think I'm going live next week, but a whole 3 hours you guys got. Sipping tea with cinnamon. Go back, watch this, reshare it, make some shorts, pick and choose, argue with me, take away what you do and don't like, whatever it is. But I finally got to tell my real fucking, there's still more, but just in that sense of it all, got that off my chest as to why when people are like, I'm being blackballed, it has nothing to do with my music, has nothing to do with what I did or didn't do to somebody. It has everything to do with a female who was envious of me, and she knew that her life was, she's coming to the end of her life, and misery loves company. And that's something that took me so long to wrap my head around, because there's no way that I would ever do that to somebody. It's almost like a curse. It feels like obia. Like your last response was, make sure Alicia Cinnamon doesn't get to the top because I am dying and I'm not going to be able to fulfill my dreams. And it took me a long time to really just say that's what the fuck it was. And so for those of you that didn't know the story, for those of you podcasters, for those of you interviewers, whatever you want to call it, for those of you that have been taking a side without knowing it, it's here. And you're going to have to answer to God straight up, because I'm a child of God. And that's all I got to say. It's like, once I don't say anything, I can't get mad at people. But once it's out there, when you know better, you do better. So it's there, period. And those who want to get mad. And for 2025, be better people. And that way nobody has these stories to tell about y'all. So I'm gone. Peace. That was the tea. Lunch is on me. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment, check in, whatever. Go back, watch the video again. But make sure you subscribe so that for the New Year's, I can keep giving you guys content. I will be dropping another video early in the New Year's. So it's gonna be nice. I got a lot of content to give to you guys, and it's going to be strictly on an independent scale. So I need you guys to tap into my YouTube, my Spotify. I hate Spotify, but Spotify, iTunes, Tidal, my YouTube topics. Tap into those things, because obviously they're not trying to play me on the local radio in Toronto, which is fine, because most of these people in Toronto, like, they got rid of all the real people who know music anyways. Shout out Jonathan Shaw and all them shit. They're gone. Like, all these people that are at the radio stations are people that started off as like clowns and comedians on Instagram. I don't really know what credentials they have to be critiquing music. So it's actually insulting to have to go and send my music to motherfuckers that started off as fans on my social media. So I honestly don't really care about radio play. It's just when your music streams on radio, you get paid a lot better. That's the only reason why I care. Is because the streamings through radio, it's a lot more pricey, right? I like seeing those soul can checks. That being said, y'all could do me just the same justice. Go and subscribe to my Spotify. All you do is just Real Alicia Cinnamon. If you're an Apple user, Sorry, not Real Alicia Cinnamon. That's YouTube. Alicia Cinnamon. Apple, Alicia Cinnamon. Very simple. Just subscribe. Add me to one of your playlists so that each time you're, cooking, cleaning, whatever, you can stream my music and I can get my little piece of royalties so I can keep on giving you guys good music. Aside from that, I'm not fighting these industry people anymore. I just was really pissed off that all this shit was going on behind the scenes and they wanted to actually keep decharacterizing me like something was wrong with me and not that you guys weren't a bunch of fucking weirdos. So it's out there. Straight up. And the only reason why I never put it out there is because I did not want to put my son's business out there. That's it. Not because of you guys. Not because I care about you guys. Not because I care about none of that. Because I did not want to expose my son to weirdos. It's out there. He's grown. He's in a safe space. All of this is over and done with. Come for my kid. And I promise you, because I am a daycare teacher, I will specifically sign up and work at your school. And yeah. Let me not incriminate myself, but I am saying anybody that want to come for my kid, just know, say I will find out where yours goes to school. Point blank period. Leave my fucking family alone. Leave my kids alone. Don't try to come for it. All that bullshit that you guys painted. You didn't even know. Some of you didn't even know I had a fucking kid until you saw him. And then and it was crazy. I didn't know how to answer it when my son said to me, Mom, why do people take set on me and you so much? That shit broke my heart. In so many ways, because I'm like, you're special. And so am I. My son is so special. He's like the sweetest person. He's 6'4", 200-pound giant, but the sweetest human being. I can rook you up if he needs to. Very intelligent, amazing young man. And you guys try to just separate him and throw him into the system like a fucking idiot because you had an issue with his mom. You're a loser for that. And then, of course, there's the 1, 2 hating ass family members that decided, yeah, we're going to go jump forces because, there's always going to be a family member that wants to hate. I'm just grateful that my son woke up, seen shit for himself, and prosperity and blessings going forward in every way, shape, or form. But I am so glad I got that shit the fuck off my chest. I don't care what happens going forward. Bye, guys. Peace. I'm gonna smoke my spliff.
And it's a wrap.